welcome back to Pixels and Pints for a regular dose of pop culture and craft beer from Australia. I'm here with, I'm going to do it in screen order, Peter.
Howdy.
And Thomas.
Good morning.
You were sporting the Wolverine hair during lockdown, and now you're sporting the Wolverine singlet. But and now you've got a hat on. You're not trying to sport the Wolverine.
Oh no,
hair
it's still there. I haven't
well.
been to the hairdresser yet. It's still there. I have come straight from my cellar day, so I have literally walked out of the keg room into walking the dog into walking into podcasts. So fun times.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm sure you smell nice.
Oh yeah, you guys are lucky we're doing this one early.
Yep,
she's fresh.
And I decided after all the shit you guys gave me about looking like that Gary Oldman from
Fifth Element.
5, from the Fifth Element, I'd do my hair just for you.
I like it.
I was going to say you still got the Gary Oldman vibes going.
That's right. I'm channeling
on purpose this time.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
okay,
that's right.
Okay, fair enough. And a fairly well manicured beard by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm being promoted at work, and suddenly I have to be super respectable, like more respectable than I'm sure I'm capable of.
This is what I got to wear to work today. Just pointing that one out.
I love my mongrel bastard. Yeah, see, we don't have an office in Sydney at the moment thanks to lockdown. There was no point paying for rent while no one could go. But when we do get an office, I walk straight back into suit, shirt and tie in the middle of fucking summer. And there is nothing worse.
I have to work a hospitality venue while still wearing a mask all summer while everyone else is
fair.
on,
Okay, so there's nothing worse for us pencil-pushing motherfucker white collars. How's that?
You and your...
So tonight, other than what these two have
shit.
to wear to work, get to wear to work, we are going to go through some pop culture. I think a lot of trailers and that tonight. We got we're gonna sort of hit
zero
that,
content.
We're not going to hit that spotlight about best ambience and that later on. I guess.
Yeah, I think we should.
That in if we need to.
I think we are. Yeah, it's after the break.
We've got no content, so I think we've got content. Grabbing.
I'm content.
Yeah, there's plenty there. And talk about some beers. So, who's up first for beers? Pete, what do you got? You got a lager, you said?
I do have a lager. I thought I'd start with something a little bit light in terms of flavour. So I'm drinking Prancing Pony Brewery's Pony Lager, which I'm assuming is pretty core range.
Whoops, I just turned my monitor off.
It's all good. You don't need it. We can still see you. It's a 4.5% lager, 23 IBU. And it's got a cool holographic... No, it's not holographic, but it's kind of silver and black. Hop bitterness rating of 1.5 out of 5 cones, which is right up my alley because I fucking hate bitter beer.
There you go.
It's refreshing. It's what you'd expect out of a lager. It's obviously core range. If they're Prancing Pony Brewery making their Prancing Pony Lager, you'd expect that to be core range.
Pony up.
It's exactly what you'd expect out of a lager. It's nice and easy and doesn't hit you with a full smash in the face flavor profile.
There we go.
Very refreshing.
You talk about your beer, Tom. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a minute and try and work my monitor out.
Okay. So I am drinking Batch. They did a collab. I can't remember if it was a collab or not. It's a Hoppy Kolsch, but it's using Lupomax, which is a new product from Hop Products Australia. So all it says is the Hoppy Kolsch style ale was made in Marrickville, presents a beautiful light gold with fluffy white head, HPA's enriched Lupomax. Registered trademark. Hop pellets unleash a storm of peaches, ruby red grapefruit, and notes of vanilla. Pour a glass, take a sip, and you'll find a smooth, crisp beer.
I like fluffy white head.
Don't we all? This is also made entirely with organic malt from Voyager Malt, which is kind of cool. Lupomax, and Dan, you can probably correct me about this if you're actually still there, is a new way of condensing the hop pellet. I think that's the way the brewer explained it to me. So it's like a super concentrated hop pellet.
Okay. There's got to be some sort of dehydration process because obviously just the look and feel of pellets, it looks like fucking rabbit food pellets.
Yeah.
And it's dehydrated, so...
It pours... It's super clear. I can't really see that from the camera, but I can kind of see peep through my glass. It does have a fluffy white head. And I'm just going to have a quick little taste, let you know how it is.
A little taste. Oh, Dan's dropped out completely.
Oh, yeah, I get that grapefruit.
Right. Yeah?
Yeah, it's got like a nice
Not typically a fan of Kolsch's.
That bitterness from the red grapefruit. It's not overpowering. It's just like kind of really adds to it. I don't get the vanilla, but I get the peaches. So yeah, this is great. It's very crisp. This is something, especially going into summer, that I would happily throw a few back of.
Yeah, nice.
Well done to the gang. Yeah, and I think Beer Cartel are doing a whole pack with Lupomax beers, like they did when they brought out Eclipse, which was one of the newer hops to brought out. They did an Eclipse pack. I think they're doing a Lupomax.
We talked about.
Yeah, they're doing
Actually,
a Lupomax
we tried
pack as well.
We tried the Eclipse pack on the show.
We did,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I need to start buying beer. In 1 week I ended up, and I didn't plan it, but in 1 week I ended up with a delivery from Moondog, another from Three Ravens, which I might talk about briefly later. I'm tossing up whether or not I try a couple of their birthday beers, and a Beer Cartel. I think it was one of their 12 packs plus a shitload of extras. So I'm recently singled. And my fridge is typical bachelor fridge, right? Because it's fucking... Here's a little bottle of water.
That's why I have the second fridge for the beers.
Yeah. There's a little bottle of water. There's my dinner for the evening.
Yep.
And then it's just beer. There's no room for fucking anything.
Glorious.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
There's angels singing every time I open the door.
Oh, of course. And you expect nothing less from a fridge full of beer.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we've lost Dan. Dan's rebooting the world at his house. Is running around telling everyone in his street to stop watching Netflix at the same time.
That's fair.
So we're just gonna pad. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get stuck into the news.
Yep.
I'm a bit bored with the world at the moment of pop culture. There's a lot of stuff that I'm excitedly waiting for to be released that we already know all about.
There's a lot of cool stuff coming out.
Batman, and we've got the end of Foundation, which is coming up soon. So for the first season, you've got the start of Wheel of Time coming up soon. I think that's December.
Yep.
You've got Mando coming back. You've got the book of
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
One I'm excited for that I don't think we really talked about it. The live action version of Cowboy Bebop, which is a traditional. It's one of the more famous animes.
So we talked about that in the last episode. Yeah,
it looks fucking sick, and they've really started to push that, which is cool.
I haven't seen a proper trailer. I saw like an intro sequence style trailer. That
they released a proper
matches
trailer like yesterday or today. I think it was one of the ones I meant to add into the news, but I didn't. My bad.
But yeah, apart from that, there's lots of stuff to be excited for that's coming soon.
Yeah.
But not a lot of new announcements for the next batch after that, which leaves me mildly concerned that we're going to have a gap in the release schedule again. Let's talk about the news we do have.
With a lot of the world being locked down over various parts of
but America's not in lockdown. They don't give a fuck. People are dying. They don't care. So Hollywood's back into full steam, man. Like, obviously some of them are still wearing masks and shit, but they're making movies. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a delayed effect. Obviously there is a long delay because it takes 2 years to make a movie. You got 12 months of principal shooting and then 12 months of post. Maybe we're just dealing with the lull from the first lockdown.
I think that's probably the case. Yeah, but they could have definitely ramped that up. I know there's plenty of things have been delayed, which is kind of going to our first bit of news. Like good old Cyberpunk and Witcher 3, PS5, Xbox One upgraded versions have been delayed. Given what happened with Cyberpunk, it makes sense they're taking their time and being extra careful. They don't want to fuck this one. Which is, it makes sense. It's a smart move. It's a cautious move, and they needed to make a cautious move after what happened with the release of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, if we have to wait another 3 to 6 months for a game that we didn't even know was coming not that long ago, in terms of Witcher 3 for PS5, then I'm okay with them doing it properly.
Yeah,
I don't get it because fundamentally the code base for PS4 and the PS5 are almost identical. They just retweak some graphics. So unless they're doing a proper new polygonal system, they're upgrading textures isn't that complicated, but upgrading the models they wrap the textures around in the game assets, very different thing. So maybe that's what they're doing.
I figured it would have been something to do with, was it potentially, especially with the PS5 version, like utilizing the new DualSense controller, like factoring that into all the, that could maybe be a thing playing into it. But welcome back.
Hey, Dan's got clothes on.
Fucking Telstra, man.
That'll teach you.
How can you How can you be on? It's NBN. I mean, the logo on the top of your invoice is irrelevant these days. It's all NBN.
They've been doing work in this area for the last probably, I would say, 6 weeks, and it's been the worst it has ever been. The connection in this area.
Thank you, Australian government, for the worst network on Earth.
Oh, fuck me. It drops out. Every time I turn the PlayStation on, I have to reconnect it to the router. It's just absolutely shocking. And I'm at my wit's end with these idiots. I mean, it's been over a decade since they started this absurd NBN plan that they cut back and cut back and cut back, and it's put us back fucking 20 fucking years in going forward.
They'll still be rolling and fixing these issues by the time your modem will be 5G and running a gig. Which is
exactly.
10 times faster than most people's plans will be. So,
Ridiculous.
which is exactly what people fucking predicted before they started. I could put you two to sleep. I mean, there might be 5 or 6 listeners interested in hearing about it behind the scenes, because I get to deal with that behind the scenes shit with NBN every day. But I'd put you guys to sleep, and it's not the topic. So we were just talking about Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk being delayed, which is disappointing. But again, if they do it right, I'm okay to wait another 3 to 6.
Yeah.
I mean, my only opinion on this is I actually thought that Cyberpunk would come up eventually again before I'd actually looked at the run sheet for today, and since I stopped playing, it has not even entered my head to turn it back on. It was such an enormous disappointment.
Dan's frozen.
Dropped out.
Either that or he's practicing to be a statue in these next.
No, he's going to drop the absolute best response to that question. Like he's buffering it. It's going to come and it's just going to blow us. It's going to blow us away.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we might have him back. Excuse us for technical difficulties for this episode,
Please
folks.
stand by.
Senator Conroy, remember to write to the ex-senator. Is he still a senator? It was his fault. God of War 2018.
Yeah, it's going to PC.
Yeah. I don't care at all. Okay. Dan probably might.
Cool. I think it's good for people who don't, who aren't lucky enough to have PlayStations, who now get to play it on PC if they've got a good enough. It's been a few. There's been a few Sony games that have done it. I know Days Gone did that. It was meant to be a Sony exclusive. They've slowly done this over a couple of them, pushed them onto PC.
Oh, and in terms of a PC that's good enough, mate, if it runs on PlayStation 4, it'll run on a fucking iPhone 3. The hardware, even in the PlayStation 5 hardware is not that great. The Xbox One hardware is not that great compared to any modern PC bought in the last couple of years. So yeah, I think that's exciting for anyone who doesn't play consoles. On the other hand, I'm desperately searching for a PS5 so that I can give it to Dan.
Oh, I was about to say
because Dan doesn't have one, and he said Dan said if you see one, then yeah, absolutely get it, and I'll sort you out for it. Yeah, you did. It's on film.
Yeah, actually, I remember that.
And I want a second one, being the greedy bastard that I am.
Why?
And I can't get a second one until I get Dan one.
Why do you want a second one?
I could just go and
long story.
Order one, and when it comes in, I could get it. But
I know someone who went last week and ordered one through JB Hi-Fi and picked it up yesterday.
Wow!
So they are starting to
trickle in.
This isn't official, but and they said not to tell anyone, but I'm putting it on a podcast. So fuck you. Everyone deserves a PS5.
It's just us. It's just us too, Tom.
Yeah, but yes, I know people who have started to. My little brother just got his, and a few other mates have just gone in, and they've had to wait a week or so. But yeah, they're coming in. They're starting to come back into New South Wales. That's the good thing.
Yeah, I probably should go and do it, especially before it gets to fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
Just
go talk
seriously gets
to JB, talk to EB. Be very nice. Be your charming self, Dan, and
Well, maybe send the wife in, to be honest.
Yeah,
or just take a case of beer and drop it into them and be like, "Hey guys, I'll give you this. You give me a PS5, eh?"
Rat-tat-tat.
Put me to the top of the list.
I'm setting up the streams because we've been talking about potentially streaming, and I want to do that in a room where I can get all the gear set up without having to fucking shift everything into lounge room. So, and I'm not prepared to move the PS5 permanently from the lounge room where I enjoy my downtime to the study, which is approximately 40 degrees right now. So anyway,
that makes sense.
I wanted to just quickly mention that Dune Part 2 has been formally greenlit. We were talking about it pretty much the day before
morning,
they formally greenlit it, and then it came out. I think it was this morning they formally announced it. So it took 40 million at the box office, which was higher than expected. It's still a pretty shit opening. And 200.
Yeah, but it's a slow burn out there sci-fi movie. I mean,
yeah, and
Maybe pushing it pretty
223
hard,
million. 223
Yeah,
million. It's been out for about a week now, and that's the global number. So they reckon, because they never publish these numbers, but pundits reckon that it cost them about 175 million to make the movie. So they made a little bit of money.
it looks like it.
But what looks like it? Looks like
It
what?
looks like they. Well, I mean,
Spent 175 million.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I put my finger in the air and came up with roughly that number too. Because what the fuck does a movie cost? Anyway, point is, they're making enough money to justify it. Apparently, the director's not a well-known director, so he's doing backflips, saying it's been a huge success. So what isn't a relatively huge success to Warner Brothers is huge for him. So
I mean,
I'm
he's,
glad
he's well known. Dennis Villeneuve.
he's well known, but he's not well known against massive tier one
yeah,
blockbuster AAA titles.
I guess he's not a Christopher Nolan or a
James Gunn, or
who's making a new one at the moment? Fucking Ridley Scott, is he making a new one?
yeah, he's still around.
Oh yeah, he just made that one with Ben Affleck and Matt
Oh,
Damon.
The Last Duel.
The Last Duel.
Yeah.
So
Adam
he's gotta
Driver.
be
I actually want
90
to see
at the
that.
moment.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're doing a second part. I'm glad they're going to finish the book. Good, bad, or ugly.
They're going to
At
finish
least
the story, or the first. Well, not the story. The first part
Novel.
of the story.
Yeah.
This way, they're only leaving it
Half done,
through.
and not a quarter. But I'm glad that we at least get a closed loop on the first novel. Good, bad, or otherwise. Hopefully with consistent actors in it. What was your beer? Sorry, Dan. That's your internet had a conniption.
Yeah, more than a fucking conniption. Guava sour NEIPA from Little Bang. I've been quite happy with my beer selection today. All bought from Q Cellars. They're all 5-point-something% or lower. So yeah, Guava sour NEIPA from Little Bang. It's not. You can tell it's got a sharper body to it, so a more acidic pH than a standard NEIPA to keep it nice and sharp and clean. I definitely wouldn't call it sour. It's definitely sharper than a standard NEIPA. It's nice. It's got a good sort of rounded tropical fruit hop character to it. Yeah,
Cool.
I just thought it'd be an excellent one to start with, and yeah, it is. It's
Yeah, nice and light. I can't say that I've ever tried a sour NEIPA. It'd be interesting.
Yeah,
Still has all the NEIPA proteins, I'm assuming, so it's cloudy and
yeah. It's not super cloudy. I mean,
yeah, it's not too bad.
yeah.
I mean, it's more cloudy than a typical sour, right? Which is usually
It's
crystal
actually,
clear.
Yeah, it's no, they're not crystal clear. It's actually not looking at it on the camera. It is roughly a standard sour cloudiness.
Okay.
Just the lights refracting a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Who wanted to? So we obviously run off a shared run sheet. Who wanted to talk about Free Guy again? Because we've done a full review and we've done the
Have we?
trailer. Yeah,
Because I hadn't seen it.
We
Was I
did
not there
a
that
very
one?
top line review.
Yeah.
we did a spoiler-free review.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
right. Okay, so we're going to do a deep dive and spoil the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
Let's do
spoil the hell
it.
out of it.
Spoil like a carton of milk that's been left out in the sun.
Yep.
How about that shield moment? Yes.
Yeah, the shield of it was good. The
Yeah,
shield
that
moment
little
was
battle
very
bit at the end when you just fucking started going through all the Disney profiles. I was in heaven. I was absolute
Yeah.
heaven.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie as just a popcorn movie, as Chris used to call them. They're just a chillaxed, don't have to overthink it.
Yeah.
Just enjoyable for the sake of it. Bit of a spectacle on the screen,
Yeah,
and funny
there
as
was-
fuck.
There was no surprises to any of it. You knew how it was going.
Yeah.
All the tropes were there, but then all the
Weird looking chick in real life, the hot chick inside VR, but the same actress. Like it just reminded me of not another teen movie. It's that whole genre of teen movies where the ugliest chick in the school suddenly gets made up at the end.
Oh,
for
it takes the
prom,
glasses
and she's-
off. Yeah. I know. I know what you're talking
but
about.
it's good.
And they push back on that for good reason, right? It was sending the wrong fucking messages to people in school, but
But it's good
was,
that they make their digital profiles that little bit weird looking.
Yeah.
There's the haircut, and then obviously the guy goes in as the cop with the dirty 70 porn mo, and the other guy goes in as the rabbit. And
the
He's a great actor too.
that rabbit thing was that was like, oh, hang on, something's not right there.
That's a bit wrong.
I thought all that was quite clever, and then obviously you look at a lot of the other player characters within the world, and they're all very Matrix-esque, all punk.
The guy with the glasses,
all done up to the nines with big steel spike jackets. And
Channing Tatum's little cameo really fucking made me piss my pants. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, so I did a little bit of background research on the dude as to how they got Ryan Reynolds' head on that massive hulked up human right at the end. Because I was wondering if it was a deep fake, like they did for Luke Skywalker at the end of Mando Season 2.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just plain old green screen technology, and they just glued Ryan's face on the dude's body, basically. Yeah. So they
did a very good job of it.
They did a fantastic job. It was great. And he was funny too, playing a dumbass.
He was.
Just as a meathead.
Some fantastic cameos as well. I think we touched on them last time, but I very much loved hearing Hugh Jackman's voice that you could pick. John Krasinski was in there as well. If you go actually through the list of people who jumped in, there's
a long list.
But then you think about it when you hear who that character was, and you're like, "Fuck, it was that." Oh shit! All right, I'm going to rewind, just double check and go, "Oh yeah."
Chris Evans, obviously.
Yes, that was probably the highlight when you saw the shield and then him just going that. Emma just looked at me and I was just mouth open, biggest grin of the fucking world. Just, yeah!
Dwayne Johnson. I'm just looking at the list now. Dwayne Johnson was one of the bank robbers.
Yep.
Tina Fey. Okay. And then you had a bunch of streamers. So all the people that were representing streamers commentating are real-life streamers. So you had Ninja, you had...
he's the only one I've heard of, but yeah.
There's the Scottish guy, Jacksepticeye I've seen before. Sorry, he's Irish, not Scottish.
Yep.
Sorry for all the Scots out there.
Didn't I say last week that they were all looped in together anyway and offended a bunch of people? That was the Welsh, sorry. Welsh, English, yep, there we go.
The Welsh.
Yep. I was actually apologising to the Scottish for accidentally getting an Irishman wrong and thinking they were Scots. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the end of my story. I didn't bring it up.
I hope they don't make another one.
I doubt it.
They'd be treading the same ground.
I thought you said they were. I thought you said, that they'd already greenlit a sequel. I remember you saying that in a news, Peter.
Really? Maybe I did. Maybe it was a TV series. Yes, they are doing a second movie.
Yeah.
I would like it in the... Yeah, maybe somehow in the world, but not necessarily those characters again.
Yeah.
If you can take that kind of... I don't know, it'd be hard to, because it did round itself off nicely, but yeah. I don't know. I'm sure they'll find something that world gets invaded by some other game or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a big thing about cross-platforming playing. So I don't know. There you go. There's your little subplot.
Yeah. There's Tom's prediction.
Yeah.
But it's a good platform to talk about pop culture in a different way too, because it is a send-up of pop culture, but in a very different style to something like what was the Spielberg movie that I fucking
Ready Player One.
Yeah.
That was a love letter
well.
more than a send-up, whereas this was a send-up of that GTA Online culture.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And it nailed it too. I mean, it was just the way they thought he was a hacker and having a go at him because he was breaking the rules of it. And I mean, we've spoken about it many times, Peter, but before even Tom came on here about the downside of
before you were born, Tom.
GTA Online.
Yes, because you're that old, Peter.
Before your persona was born. How's that on the show? Yes, and it's just a hack fest. It completely ruined the game for everyone except the hackers. I quickly wanted to talk about a different series. So is there anything else we wanted to say to Free Guy? I mean, I loved it. I'll watch it again really soon. Oh
yeah, happily. It'll be one of those movies I'll happily put on.
I think well acted. Taika Waititi's character was a bit over the top. It felt a little bit out of place against the other characters. I really liked him.
He said that he loved playing that character though, because it gave him an opportunity to just be over the top on purpose and not be so serious.
Yeah, I think it didn't meld well enough with the
rest of the
world,
cast.
the cast around it. They should have. Yeah, it stood out like he should have been in the game. I guess that was kind of the reflection that it was not his creation, but his attitude.
Vision?
Yeah, his attitude in the real world was reflected by the players' attitudes in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. Now I think about it, I retract that statement. He was a good
Too late.
mirror for
Too late.
the rest of the assholes within the gaming world.
You know who his character really reminded me of? And this is going to be an obscure reference for some listeners at home, because I'm not sure either of you guys will really get it. Wow, that was an offensive lead-up, wasn't it? The bad guy from Hackers, the 95 movie with
God, I remember that.
Angelina Jolie when she was like a fucking early 20s, late teen. Johnny Lee Miller was one of his first movies. But the bad guy played... I can't remember his name. I'm just trying to look him up now. The Plague, Fisher Evans, who you'll know immediately if you see his face. In fact, I'll show you guys a face, and if people are watching this on YouTube, they'll be able to see a quick screenshot as well.
So, Pete, a quick question on Taika Waititi. Yeah.
So he actually played a guy that looked more Indian than white in the movie, but he was the bad guy, wore a trench coat, rode a skateboard, hanging out with a cool kind of scene, but was not nearly cool. And what's his name? How do you pronounce his name? Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi,
my bad. Yeah. His character felt like a send-up of that bad guy in Hackers. There's a lot of parallels. Just over the top, stupid, zany, and doesn't quite fit the culture that he's in.
So you probably don't remember because I only watched it on the weekend. But the long trench coat that he originally walks into the office in, for some reason, screamed Assassin's Creed to me.
Okay.
There's I don't know if we can find a. I'll have a look. While you talk.
Another Life.
Another Life. I'll see if I can find a screenshot of it.
So this is a series that I forgot all about. I think I probably talked about it in the lead-up, or maybe while I was watching it when Season 1 came out. That was last year. But I'd forgotten about it so badly that I kind of went back on IMDb to check, because it felt like it was one of those series that I had stopped watching in 2019. Oh, that's why, because I did. I was right. Oh, fuck, so my brain's broken. So it's a Netflix original series starring Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica and a bunch of other shit since. But that's kind of where... And she's...
Bo-Katan.
Yeah, Bo-Katan. Thank you. So it's a... And so I noticed Netflix advertising that that Season 2 had been released. And I'm like, I remember that series, but I don't remember anything fucking about it.
Yeah.
So I watched the first 4 minutes of Season 2, Episode 1 of Season 2, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't remember it, and I remember I enjoyed it enough to not want to ruin Season 2.
Right.
But as I started watching Season 1, Episode 1 again, with the intention to rewatch it, I'm like, but if it was such a good series, wouldn't I remember it? Am I just about to go through, wasting
glasses?
Yeah, is this just going to be 10 episodes of wasting my life just so I can see Season 2? But no, I gobbled up 10 episodes of about 45 minutes an episode in the space of 3 evenings.
Wow.
It's thoroughly fucking enjoyable. It's science fiction, little bit of drama, no more poxy B grade than any Star Trek TV series ever made. Yep. It's not CW level drama. I mean, Earth has a alien artifact suddenly land on it. It doesn't communicate with them. They know where it's from, so they send a faster than light ship. Humans send a faster than light ship to, I can't remember the name of the star, but it's a real star, to try and figure out if they're friendly, what the fuck, what's the artifact there to do, because no one can communicate with it. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting there like a statue.
Yeah.
And then along the way, they have lots and lots, like a stupid amount of problems on the way there. And there's an artificial intelligence running the ship, and drama, kind of trope drama with him. He wants to be a real boy. It's a very Pinocchio story. There's only 2 ways you really get holographic AIs in shows these days. Either they want to be real or they're psychos. There's nothing really in between. They're never just the tool they're designed to be, ever.
They can't help you, Peter.
Yeah.
So,
what's his name from Prometheus? David?
Yeah. It's Fassbender.
If you watch all of the
Fassbender's
deleted
character,
scenes or alternate versions of that ending. Anyway, but yeah, so I haven't actually started watching season 2, but I highly recommend light watching for the most part. Some pretty deep, dark themes in there as well, so there's some intellectual stuff in there, but for the most part it's just easy to watch, and it's fucking cool. All the science is real, so it's at least based on real science. A lot of the stuff they talk about.
I was about to say, the faster light travel's real?
No.
Thank
But
you.
it is a projection of our current understanding of quantum mechanics, so... and it's not that far out there. It's not one of those, I just invented some unicorn technology and I'm built my world around it. It's kind of taking what we know and projecting it 50 years in the future. Because it is only 50 years in the future. There's been a flood thanks to, climate change. Half the world's cities are underwater. Population density has dropped. Food scarcity. And there was a second Great Depression. There's a whole backstory behind Earth that they don't even really explore, but they just make tangential references to it to give it grounding.
Yeah, right.
Well worth watching, though. Really, really good fun. And reminded me how great Katie Sackhoff is as an actress. Because her range in this show, she's the captain. And like Janeway, she walks that perfect line between being too masculine in order to be a captain of a ship and not being overtly, oh my God, I'm so emotional. They both actresses perfectly avoid tropes on either side. I need to play a strong woman without being too masculine and without being a trope as an overly emotional woman. So I
think
thought that was
just sums up Katie Sackhoff's sci-fi character
persona. Yeah.
Really. All the way from Starbuck to Bo-Katan.
True. You're absolutely right. But her acting range in this show, from badass to emotional to vulnerable to badass, is just thoroughly enjoyable to watch. She carries the cast, and the rest of the cast are actually quite good. Most of them are no names. I've never seen them anywhere else. But they're all great. So give it a watch.
Yeah, cool.
You look at what she did throughout the seasons of Battlestar Galactica. I mean, you would almost argue that Starbuck was the main character in Battlestar when Starbuck wasn't the main character, but she definitely... And, I mean, they weren't no-name people either. I mean, Battlestar Galactica was probably, in my mind, one of the best cast TV series through the 4 seasons that it was, and everybody held up their end of the
bargain,
the bargain, but the weight of the
story,
the scale and the weight of the story and the overarching stories. But she did exactly the same thing as Starbuck. She went through from the cocky headshaw pilot, top of their game. Oh, I just lost
power.
The
Not
system
all of it, obviously.
is down.
Oh. No, we lost all of our lights, but not.
You've tripped a fuse.
No,
This
anyway,
is the part of the horror movie where Dan dies.
I will sort something out in a minute.
Light some candles, have a
Don't start
seance.
singing Kumbaya.
No, that's right. She loses I think it's the 3rd or 4th season where she has a fling with Apollo, and she's married at the time, but having an affair with Apollo, and then she becomes the character Kat comes up and takes over the best pilot seat and the most kills and leads the squadron and takes her role as a younger character as she turns into, quotations, an older character with the young buck coming through, and then she takes over again and has a really pivotal finish to the entire season. So
Still not seen the last half of the last season. I never got to watch because my house got ransacked, and they took my DVDs and the PlayStation that it was in. So I've actually still got 3.5 seasons out of the 4 of Battlestar Galactica, but the last disc was in the PlayStation they stole. The only actor I really detest in this series is Selma Blair.
No. Before you do that, Dan, can you please just look up into the top left corner and say, "No, there is another." You got that great Yoda vibe from the end of Empire right now, that orange glow.
Then I have to be lying back and going, no, there is another.
No, it's when he's talking to Obi-Wan when Luke flies off. I'm talking Empire.
Oh,
yeah.
with the
That boy was our last hope.
Yeah.
No, there is another. There is another.
I'll be back.
Cool. Selma Blair.
Absolute
Can't fucking stand
shenanigans
her.
going on at Dad's house tonight.
Well,
Jesus
so-
Christ.
Yeah, it's like they've got a poltergeist or something.
Like I said, this is the part of the horror movie where he dies.
Yeah, Selma Blair. I
yeah?
can't stand her as an actress. She annoys the shit out of me. Yeah, always has. In everything she's been in. I just don't rate her.
Fair enough.
Maybe she always plays annoying characters and she's actually a brilliant actress for perfectly carrying off the annoying, because I guess that would make her good at being shit. But I can't stand her. And in fact, in this series, she plays a 50-year projection of social media influencer. So she has 250 million followers. She's richer than God.
Yep.
She's part of the social elite. And she basically, she is journalism 50 years in the future. Whatever she says goes. It doesn't matter if it's real.
Kind of sounds
She's
like
got
she's a
250
character in
million
American
followers.
Gods, like for the new gods.
Yeah. So, good series. Check it out. It's on Netflix, so you're either paying for the privilege or you're not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Should mention that as part of news. Actually, they jacked the fucking price of Disney Plus up in Australia.
Yeah, I got my email about that today, actually, from
25% increase in 12 months is pretty significant.
They've got to be adding something to it. I mean, they've got to have enough subscribers.
I don't think they've got to be done. Netflix has been jacking prices up year on year. Well, every 2 or 3 years they jack it up another couple of bucks.
We use Emma's parents.
Right.
Family
Why
account.
would you admit that? yeah, okay. Well, they
everyone
are
does
family,
it.
I suppose.
No one's going to deny it.
Yeah.
I've got to just say that if they're going to do that, then I would guess it's probably hopeful, but I would hope and expect that means when a movie does release at the cinemas, if you want premiere access, instead of it being $30 to that, it's more in line with the Amazon prices where it's like $9 to rent it or whatever. Like, bring that part
I would
down.
love for that to be true, Tom, but the cynic in me says no fucking way.
So yeah, that's true.
If they can get away with jacking everyone's prices up without giving you anything in return, they'll absolutely fucking jack the prices up and keep the premiere access cost as high as it always has been.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah.
We shall. Let's talk about second beers. We're flying through. 40 minutes, we're at half time.
Oui. Yes.
No more 3-hour fucking episodes.
It's always funny when we say we've got nothing to
on
talk
a
about,
game
and then
tonight.
all of a sudden, 3 hours later,
Yeah.
still bloody rabbiting on.
I've got a Hop Nation Melbourne Fog Hazy Pale,
Fucking love that beer.
4.8%,
That is
which I'm
absolute
very happy about. So I'm finishing my beers tonight because they're all under 5% or 5 point something
Oh,
under.
you big man, you.
Yeah, well, some
Dan
of
can
us-
drink 4-5% beers in a row.
Some don't have to go and stand on a fucking canning line all day tomorrow, Peter.
True.
In the 30-degree heat. So rather not do that with a hangover. Thank you very much.
I can see you standing on the canning line, though. That would be hilarious, just watching you go past in the conveyor belt.
No. If I'm overstanding on the canning line, it's going to be that scene from fucking
Freddy Got Fingered.
Zombieland.
Ah,
No, I haven't seen Freddy Got Fingered. Where Woody Harrelson's just lost his Chevy to Emma Stone, and he's letting him vent by smashing every window. It's going to be me jumping up and down on the top of the canning line and smashing every fucking panel I can with the heaviest fucking weapon that I can wield on top of that thing.
yeah, that
Yep.
sounds like some of the brewers I was talking to the other day. I think everyone's had a really
Everybody
bad canning
loves-
week. Everyone's had a
Everybody
really bad
hates
canning
the
week.
canning machine or the labeling machine.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
I've come to terms with my my labeling machine. We have a semi love-hate relationship at the moment. So my labeler is all right.
Before Tom jumps in with a 15-minute
It's going to be 2 seconds. Fuck you, I'm cutting you off. No, Dan, I gave some of the staff today, I got given a 4-pack of mismatched beers, and someone turned around and looked at the label, and it was a good 5 mil off, and I was like, is that why they call them mismatch? Really made me chuckle.
Oh, fuck. How is the beer, Dan?
The Little Bang one is bang on. Well, not quite bang on, like a millimeter, a point something of a millimeter out. But yeah, it's great. It's good. It's super light. virtually no bitterness to it. Just a really light body, good hop character. Nothing I would say that is over the top about any of it. It's a 4.8% perfectly made hazy pale ale.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they probably come in 4-packs. I only bought a single, but just buy a 4-pack and happily sit
Smash
there
them down.
and cook a barbecue and smash some hazy pale ales while you're doing that. It's perfect for that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
it's
cool.
the perfect. It's ironic that it's called a Melbourne pale ale because it's perfect for the summer weather that we're having or the spring weather that we're having at the moment. At this,
It's pretty warm, man. I mean, it's, if it's 35 degrees later on this week.
yeah, it was 30 something out here today. So
Go away.
Yeah, and it's snowing in Victoria at the same time. Go for
yeah, that's why I said it's ironic. It's
crazy.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect spring summer, but I know they have hot summers too. I'm not.
Yeah,
Melbourne's only a fucking 1,000 kilometres away. It's not that far. So
but still fuck them. Tom?
I am drinking off from Melbourne as well, actually. Local Brewing Co. It's their Pacific Paradise. I didn't really know who these guys were, and I walked into the cellar before we locked down, and there was this keg of local mango sour, and I was like, who the fuck is Local Brewing? Where have they come from? But one of the girls at work found it, ordered a keg, and I was like, sweet. Tapped it last week. It is fucking great. It was one of the best mango sours I've had in a long time. So they're a newer brewery. I think they've been around for like about 2 years. Very local, given the name. They've been brewing out of Burnley Brewing until they get their own like proper system set up. They've got a little...
So kind of gypsying.
They have their own little pilot system, but for most of their big can runs for like their core range stuff, they've been using this other system.
Yep.
So yeah, this is their Pacific Ale because Stone and Wood can't come after anyone anymore after losing that court case. Yeah, come at me, Stone and Wood. I'll fight you. It's
you might not want to say that now. They're not an independent.
Yeah, they've got a lot more money for
I'll
lawyers.
fight Lion. Let's go. Come on. I'll fight the Tuies, dear. Let's go. So this is it's. I mean, what is a Pacific Ale really? When you think of it, it's a light
pineapple-y-
XBA, a really light pale. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
usually got a little bit of...
This has got a little bit of orange, a little bit of like melon to it. It's quite flavorful though for something that they're calling a Pacific Ale. I find a lot of them tend to be a little bland. This is chock full of a lot of that melon flavor, and comes in at 4.2%. It's perfect barbecue beer. I would happily sit on a 4-pack of this and cook a barbecue, sunny weather. Yeah, really good. Well done, Local.
I mean,
I'm excited to see
Stone
more
and
of their
Wood-
stuff coming up.
Stone and Wood Pacific was my gateway into craft.
Oh, so many people's gateway.
That was where I started. And that has... I mean, that's just a typical ale, like a light ale with what tasted always to me like a little bit of pineapple in it. It was juicy, but not too much, and it was sweet, and it wasn't too bitter. Anyway, my second beer is another Currumbin Valley Brewing Co. The reason I've had two Currumbin Valley Brewing Co's in a row now, week on week, or ep on ep, is because Kieran from the Catfish in Fitzroy suggested that I check them out because he was raving about how great they were. And I've got to say, that's 2 from 2 that they've knocked out of the fucking park. So this is like cream soda, sour beer from Currumbin. And it is exactly what they say. It smells and tastes like creaming soda in a beer. It's quite sweet. 4.6% and 5 IBU, which is very low, which is what you'd expect out of a sour.
Did you guys ever have the Hairy Man creaming soda beer? Hairy Man from...
The Pop Ale.
The Pop Ale?
Yeah, no, I've never had it. I know of it.
Yeah.
But
If you want creaming soda in a beer, that's fucking creaming soda in a beer. Like, it's
But this
insane.
is decently sour. It's very clean, as you can see. I don't know, maybe you can't see actually, but there's a bit of condensation on the glass, but it's otherwise really not that cloudy at all. It's got a good sourness to it. It's obviously a kettle sour, so it's not too sour. It doesn't make your mouth pucker up too much. With just a little bit of a sweet finish. So obviously that's the creaming soda notes coming through. I've got no idea what they added to it to make it taste like that, but
Vanilla?
definitely vanilla in it. Yeah. But there's something else in it too. Can't tell you what it is.
Soda.
So,
Doesn't say. There's nothing on the back.
Yeah.
Pete, I found this Taika Waititi coat that he wears in Free Guy. Can I share my screen? I know you said only you guys can see it.
Correct. But fuck the audience. We're not doing it for
Press
them.
the screen
Yeah.
button.
You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little Assassin's Creed 4, little pirate.
That's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4, a cross between
and some denim.
Caneway and Connor.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's as soon as I looked at it, and the front lapel
Good
on
pickup.
it is very piratey.
Fucking
As is the
I'd
fact that he's
wear that
wearing
coat.
kind of cream. He's
Naval,
wearing
I should
cream
say.
pants and white, some sort of white zip up, but it kind of looks like the whole thing's kind of similar.
Yeah,
It's obviously-
and with the hood too. The hood was
Yeah,
very
that's definitely
the
Assassin's
Connor.
Creed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You reckon? Okay, so I'm not completely
No.
fucking
100%
screwed in
say
the head.
that, yeah.
Not completely, no.
Not completely. Just mildly.
So we had a complaint. Actually, we had some feedback on the show. It was a bit of a complaint that we've been using some lingo when we're talking about beer, and we're not describing what the fuck we're talking about, which I think's really fair. At the start of the podcast and the predecessor podcast before Pixels and Pints as well, I was the noob who knew fucking nothing about beer other than it got me drunk and sometimes laid. And obviously, Dan, you've been on the show since the very beginning. You're a head brewer. Tom's in the industry and knows a shitload about beer, and he interacts with that industry day in, day out for a living. So I've always, as I kind of came through my journey, I always asked a bunch of dumb questions, and I'm kind of at a point where I don't need to ask that many dumb questions anymore. So I stopped asking, what does Brett mean? Or, what's a Kolsch?
Yeah.
But it's actually really fair feedback because our listener base kind of sits somewhere between people into craft and people into pop culture, and a bunch cross over, or else we wouldn't have anyone watching the fucking show, frankly. But I have stopped asking those questions. So maybe we should go through some lingo that we use on the show pretty regularly and stopped kind of describing in any further detail.
Beer School with Dan.
Well, I think that I probably, granted, we have all acknowledged this in those chats, but we haven't
We all
spoken
admitted
about
fault.
it.
Yep, that's true.
As
we've
a
put you on the
group
spot,
before
Dan.
this. No. You're not putting me on the spot whatsoever. But now that I look at the two beers that I have in front of me, I feel like I probably should have explained what a sour NEIPA was when I spoke about it. And then I think what we should do is just like if those sort of things come up, like talk about it as we go, like for each individual.
Maybe we could put up a little for the YouTube as well. We could put up a little graphic that's just the BJCP definition
BJCP.
of what the beer is.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You can do the graphics though, fucker. Just hand me more work.
No, just cut it straight out of the BJCP. Go straight to their website and just cut and paste.
Cut and paste
man,
Word
cut and
doc.
paste.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So first
Maybe put it in a fun font. That
So
Jester,
first time
that
question,
Jester
what
font from
comes-
Word 95? We'll put in that.
So first time question: What are the letters after the BJ? I got lost at BJ.
Peace.
BJ. What does it stand for? BJCP.
Beer judging
There you go.
certification program, something like that.
It's just an app I've got on my phone that I got told to download when I was attempting to do the Cicerone. And
I'm pretty sure that's what it
It is beer judging something, but it's just like if you're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
submit a beer for actual judging, you use that as like your base. Like that's what they have the definitions of each style.
beer judging certification program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right.
And what is it? I mean, you guys are you're referring back to it to describe it. It doesn't help.
It's the guidelines for the breakdown for guidelines for styles of beer.
Okay.
So
you can
I've
get an
got
Android app. Well, that doesn't work. But that was just bright light. Sorry. There's two great apps you can get. I know there's one on iPhone and Android. It's the BJCP 2015, and it goes through every single beer style. So
Style of beer.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
The
But
thing,
we don't.
the thing
but
about
that wasn't
the
the
app,
feedback. The feedback we got is when we describe the flavors of beers, we use technology and lingo. Oh, sorry, we use words and lingo that aren't commonly used. I mean, vegetal makes sense to most people. It's similar to vegetable. It's actually it's a similar word. It actually has a slightly different meaning, but it amounts to the same thing.
Yeah.
Herbaceous, we've used, and piney and resiny. Those are piney's certainly self-descriptive. Resiny is probably less so, but it has that sticky, bittery kind of piney note to it.
So, yeah, you just need to lick some resin, then you know what resiny is.
But resin from what though?
Violin bows, preferably.
That's what I thought you meant. That's exactly what I thought you meant, yeah. But you get my point, right? We're using terminology these days. I mean, I described a beer as quite Bretty the other day. Now, we haven't talked about Brettanomycin. Is that the name of the fucking...
Brettanomycin, yeah.
Yeah. We haven't talked about that culture before for a while.
No, it has been a long while since we talked about that.
So we've got to try and start describing the stuff in more detail.
Yes, chef.
That's the end of my story.
Okay.
Or the person in question can just start drinking more beers and make up his own fucking lingo.
Hey, got him! Yeah.
He lives literally 4 minutes walk from my house.
I think look, we get so little feedback, it frustrates the shit out of me. If more people messaged me and said, I fucking hate your show, you guys are a bunch of twats, I'd actually be happier. I just get crickets. Hey guys, send us some feedback. Crickets. We'll start a fucking Discord. We've got like 7 or 8 members now. Crickets.
Turn my notifications on today for that. Very proud of myself. Forgot I'd turned all notifications off.
I agree. I mean, once again, going back to the styles of beer that I've got here, I've got the sour New England IPA. I wish they had a little bit of information on here just to tell me how they soured it. I can't believe it wouldn't have been soured for very... Oh, it is a little bit. You know what? I thought that was like a disclaimer, legal information on there, but it's actually not. Now that I actually read it. Yeah.
Just play some music while Dan reads.
Yeah. There's no point in going
Welcome to
through
Pixels and Pints.
drink it out. Oh, no. It's just slap some cucumber on your eyes and exfoliate your pores with it.
Excuse me.
That's actually what it says. That's actually what it says.
How very dare you? My eyes are great.
It's just a well written description of the flavour of the product.
Okay. Yeah, I just looked up Little Bang's mango SNEIPA on their Untapped, and nothing about that description will tell you exactly how they soured it or what they did. At one point it says, drink it out of a moccasin and put your fancy sarong on. Play the panpipes and dance around a live volcano. I'm sorry. What? I love those guys. They're crazy.
Yeah.
It's in my mind, tasting that, it would have been, and I probably wouldn't have picked up on this if we hadn't have used something similar for a little trial batch recently. But I would imagine it was done with a yeast that actually creates lactic acid, which there's a company called Leyland that have a yeast called sour pitch, and now that I think about it, that's probably the flavour I was getting from there. There was no super sourness to it, so it wasn't super sharp and acidic. It was just, like I said, when I tried it, it was nice and clean and that higher acid level than what there would be in a normal NEIPA. So it cut through some of sort of those heavier hop characters from having so much hop thrown into the fermenter to get that NEIPA super juicy character. That higher acid sort of cuts through that, and I would almost guarantee that's a yeast that produces lactic acid to bring the pH down, rather than any form of souring process. So not a kettle sour, not a sour mash. So
because Dan, you did D-Res. That was a sour NEIPA, wasn't it?
That was a sour NEIPA, but I went a little bit out there for that one. I reckon that would have almost been the first sour NEIPA that was done in the country.
That's what when I think of a sour NEIPA, that's the beer that first comes to mind for me is D-Resed.
Yeah, because that's
right
the
first time I ever saw
NEIPA.
a fucking sour NEIPA. And
was that limey from memory?
It did have a few lime characters to it, but it didn't have any lime in it.
It was tangy, and it was that sour fruit kind of
Yeah, so I actually did a 50-50. So I actually made a sour beer, which I soured for 48 hours. So a sour mash, so it was really quite sour. Ran off close to 50-50. It was about 800 litres of that sour beer. So just a straight up lactobacillus soured product, so super acidic, and then actually brewed a NEIPA on top of that and blended it to 2,000 litres. So it was always meant to be a blend. It was the
when
whole
you say
idea,
on top of it, you mean in addition to, in a different kettle, or in a different.
No, I brewed the first one,
Literally,
put it
physically
in
on
the
top.
fermenter, and then brewed the NEIPA after I'd finishing off the sour. Brewed the NEIPA, literally started over again.
Yeah.
And then
So you got two receptacles of beer and then poured them together.
Not really, but yeah, sure.
You don't pick up a 4-ton metal.
He's
fucking
not doing
receptacle,
the
but
Cadbury
you know what I mean.
glass and a half pour.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
No.
Make me another D-res. No worries.
So the whole idea, the whole
worry, I've seen bars do
concept
that.
behind the whole concept behind that D-Res, because it was Tron based, was the two worlds. So the NEIPA was the real world, and the acidic bite of the grid world was meant to be that electronic acidic bite of like putting a 9-volt battery on your tongue.
I miss you making beer, Dan. All the levels of subtlety that go into the crafting process, the recipe, the artwork. There's so much thought that went into your beers to make sure that there was a lot of subtlety and nuance that people probably didn't realize unless you spoke to them about it, that you still appreciate as a final product. I miss drinking your fucking beer.
Good. Well, thank you. But yeah, I mean, that was always the idea. I mean, there was always layers on layers on layers. And most of the time, 90% of it was never spoken about. It was just how the whole crafting process.
It was just how you upset a bunch of fucking snowflakes. That's really...
Yeah,
that's
well,
it.
that as well. And I mean, and that was...
Dan loves it when I bring that up.
Get into it.
He loves it.
Don't you
because he
dare.
keeps waiting for his mailbox to blow up again.
Yeah, so that was probably one of the most... Actually, no, they're all pretty much the same, that sort of level of... that level of idea from the whole story. But that was probably one of the ones that I was most proud of, that because it was two worlds collide kind of thing. It was two different beer styles colliding into something that was drinkable and refreshing in the end. So it was it was probably one of the ones I'm most proud of.
If only you had the time to have made enough to submit it to Gabs. Because as one of the first SNEIPers, or potentially the first SNEIPer in the country, it would have fucking blown up at Gabs, I reckon.
Yeah, I was always going to try and do a second, like a version 2 of it. End of 2020, I was going to do a version 2 of it.
But timing's everything, right? Like, it's an experimental beer. It fits the profile for a Gabs beer. It's an experimental beer.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But it came out as a mainstream killer in terms of the actual product.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you want for a Gabs winner, right? You want something that someone went out there but ended up with a product that will hit the mainstream
you
pretty
just
well.
want the fucking sweetest thing you can put on a beer and send it off, and it's just
Oh,
dessert,
still got the
dessert,
Powerade
fucking whatever, fucking berry this, berry that.
Chili and peanut butter sour ale.
This was 4 years ago, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, chili and peanut butter, Pete. That's not a bad idea.
Poison, absolute poison. Nope, not about it. No, thank you.
Should we take a break? I think we're at an hour, so we should take a break.
Yep.
No worries.
Cool. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Hey.
Hey!
And we're back.
Welcome back.
Guardians.
Yes.
I'm not. You know our opinions on this, Tom. We were all very skeptical after your.
I was very skeptical going into this, so I just picked up yesterday morning when got my little message from EB Games. Hey Tom, come pick up your new game. You've pre-ordered.
That was a big
and paid
fucking
this-
box too. What was in that fucking box?
Came with a steelbook case and a mini art book, which I am a fucking fiend for. I love a little mini art book. Because I'm running out of statues, Peter, for our little photos. So you're about to get a bunch of shots of mini art books.
Did you see? Have you seen the Deacon St. John Days Gone statue? There's two of them. One came in the
I've seen a
collector's
few of them.
edition. One came in the collector's edition for PS4 and Xbox 46, whatever the fuck it's called. No one gives a shit. And then they did a super limited edition one. Ben Studios were directly involved in it, and it's like $1,000.
Yeah, shit.
At the time, it retailed for like $400-500 US new, and they only get rarer from there because they only made 1,000 of them or something.
Okay, so the question is, which is the expensive one and which is the expensive one? Because I know which one I like better.
The limited edition one's him sitting in front of his bike. It's a little mini diorama, and it looks really cool. I'm thinking about picking it up.
One. That's the,
yes,
the image
it
on
is.
the case, yeah.
It is from the poster. I'm thinking about picking it up. It's only a few $100 on eBay, but the other one they're selling for $1,000+ on eBay, which is just mental.
Is that the one of him chopping through a dude?
Yes. If I'm going to spend $1,000 on a figurine, it's going to be an AC figurine that you showed me recently, the limited edition rerun series they're doing, or like an original T800 life-size head, which are about $1,000. No, I was looking at them a couple of weeks back. They're $1,000 on eBay. You can still pick them up, and it's just
I saw
a dude. I saw a dude with a drifter bike yesterday as I was driving around, and he was just pulling out, and I was just like, "Hey man, you should upgrade that and just put some extra like spikage on it. Just it'll
it needs a radiator like from a car, and it needs a broken tailgate.
I'm definitely getting myself one. I'm gonna fucking make one. If I can't buy one, I'm gonna buy one.
There's a guy on YouTube who does a cosplay of Deacon St. John that I saw the other week, and he builds the bike as well. And
Not the German guy. The German guy?
No, I think he's from the US. I think he's from the US.
Are we back? We've been talking shit for 5 minutes, but what are you talking about? Are you going to get another bike? Is that what you're saying, Dan?
Oh, eventually I will. But
I'll make you a pact. If you get a Harley, I'll get a Harley. Because the only thing holding me back is me thinking, I'm 40, I'm single, I should probably grow up at some point, and I don't really want the gut that goes with the middle-aged Harley rider. I'm trying to get rid of the gut. So, but fuck me, I miss the bike, especially playing that game.
Yeah.
Anyway. So,
Guardians.
Tom.
Yes, anyway. Yes, the game, I got the collector's edition, came with mini art book. Steel case. I'm a fan. I'm also a fiend for a steel case for my games. I absolutely love them. They just look real nice. I agree. And it came with some mini little art card things as well. And some DLC content. Standard kind of collector's edition. It was only $20 more, so why wouldn't I? So I was nervous about this game because I really got fucking burnt out by the Square Enix Avengers. I've got to say, I've been putting it under Square Enix Avengers. It is so Square Enix, Eidos Montreal, and Crystal Dynamics did the Avengers game. So they were the three studios that collaborated on this one. For the Guardians game, it is just Square Enix and Eidos Montreal. So Crystal Dynamics aren't involved. And I don't know if it was their influence, but it is a completely different game. It is the game we should have got for Avengers. And I'm 3 chapters in, but I struggled to put it down last night to go to bed in time to get up properly for work. Like, I happily would have played this to 2 a.m. when I had to be up for work at, 7, but I didn't. I was responsible for a nice change.
Fuck, I'm good. As soon as you said, sorry to cut you off, as soon as you said Eidos Montreal, the first thing I thought was, did they make Deus Ex? And yes, they fucking did. They also made Thief, which was a remake of an old game. Yeah,
so they've said that Deus Ex has a massive influence on this game. I've never played a Deus Ex game, but
brilliant series of games.
Watching reviews of it online, everyone's been saying how much they feel like they're playing it.
If they had made... Sorry, again, to cut you off. I'm not really sorry, because after the last episode where you were a drunken brat, I'm really not sorry.
Shut up. You get drunk every other episode. Fuck you.
If they had made Cyberpunk 2077 an open-world game with rich RPG-driven storyline, but they'd built the Deus Ex upgrade system into it, it would have been a much better game than it was.
Yep.
Because the Deus Ex kind of meld with technology and the upgrade of your cybernetics was fucking brilliant. Exciting, and interesting, useful.
That's exactly what I was hoping for. But they didn't deliver on anything.
They failed.
You weren't around, but me and Tom were having a little quick conversation because I dropped out, obviously, in the Cyberpunk conversation at the start.
Yeah.
We were having a slight little conversation about Cyberpunk, saying we're not sure. Well, I'm not sure that they're ever going to get it to a level where it's an acceptable game because it's going to take an almost a rebuild of the systems within it. So
I'll play it when they release it for PS5, but because I've never played it. But I'm not excited for it. Anyway, sorry, Tom. Back to your 2-second Guardians.
That's fine. I'll just go fuck myself over here. It'd be probably entertaining. I don't know.
A bit off camera. We did the OnlyFans episode.
Yeah, we did do the yeah, so... But completely linear. So, Pete, if you're saying you need a linear game...
I need a different genre, though. I played... When you think about it, I played AC. I finished that. I then went on to play God of War, platinumed that, and I've just finished Days Gone and platinumed that. And whilst the three games are very different, they're also all similar perspective, similar style, inventory management, RPG elements of upgrades. You know, one's quite linear, Days Gone is quite linear, but the rest are open world. Lots of side missions.
God of War was more linear than... God of War was more linear than Days Gone.
Yes, but you could finish it in various... Like, you could do the side missions. There was a shitload of side missions, and it's fairly... It's on rails, but it's for the main storyline, but it's fairly open world otherwise. I need a complete break from that whole genre. I'm actually thinking about...
You can go play a Lego game while I keep talking about this, because I'm going to cut you off again. So, it is... You only play as Star-Lord. So I'm 3 chapters in. You only play as Star-Lord. He's got his guns, which I've only got the laser blast for, but I know you get 4 elements that you get, which is on par with what the comics is. But where the Avengers game failed, and this is succeeding, is I then can directly control the other 4 Guardians. In the sense that I press L1 and triangle, and I can command Gamora to do a certain attack. Kind of like a special attack, like as if I had a power. So I get to control Gamora's powers and Drax's powers, and they're all built a different way. So,
but you don't control the characters themselves. You still
no, they're in the background,
Star-Lord?
and their damage is absolutely minimal. It's not thing. It's like you don't rely on them until you need them. So, like I was getting attacked by these little squid monster alien thingies. So I could use Rocket to throw a bomb, which was a area of effect damage attack.
Yep.
So then that I could go and blast a whole bunch of them, which is exactly what I needed to be able to do in Avengers. I needed to be able to go, "Hey Hulk, smash!" or
I remember you
Hawkeye,
talking about it.
fucking shot. Yeah, but I couldn't. It was just they were on their own little things because it was all designed around, they wanted you to have this this online experience, but it needed to be a single player game. Like it was built around that, and then the whole end game. So far, 3 chapters in. Fucking loving it. The amount of character lines that they speak that are different and unique is insane.
Storyline interesting?
Storyline so far is great, but a perfect little example is just walking, like in the opening mission, you're walking down across this like debris in space, and you Rocket and Groot are ahead of you, and Drax and Gamora are off in the other part of things, and like you're kind of in radio contact with them. And Rocket runs off and to the right and goes, "Nah, can't go down that way, it's a dead end," and then runs back. I've played enough video games that when someone tells me it's a dead end, I know there's some sort of collectible down there I need to get. Mm-hmm. So I walk down, and then Rocket starts shitting on you, being like, "Oh, well, look at this fucking dickhead who's gone the wrong way, which I told him was a dead end." And then you like turn around and walk back. He goes, "Ah, yes, the walk of shame because you didn't listen to me the first time." Like, it's stuff like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's so well written so far. There's a lot of character choices kind of they don't, like, some do change what you can and can't do, so there are a few like proper ones, but there's like a lot of it is just to get a bit of different dialogue. So there is an idea there that you want to replay it to see what would happen if you had sided with that person as opposed to that person, kind of thing, and it's generally dual choice. But yeah, like so far, eating my fucking hat. Like I'm loving it. I'm keen to.
That's good. You want to be wrong.
Jump in, yeah, and like I was very skeptical about it, but they've turned it around, and it's just that gameplay where it's also really like the gameplay in terms of like it's dual guns, but you've got this kind of powers on the side. It's what I wanted for Darksiders Genesis. Like I wanted that instead of being that top down thing. I wanted like I think I said I wanted a cover based shooter, kind of Gears of War-ish. This would really work as well, where you could also then, like, you could kind of control War and use him for, like, big things. So, yeah, highly recommend it so far. Who knows? I might get... chapter 3, and there's, 14 chapters in it or something? So, and that's good 2 hours of gameplay, like... So far.
Something that I saw the Before You Buy by Game Rank said that the storyline was up to 18 hours, just the main story. was an 18-hour story.
That's a decent sized game.
It's just a single. It's
That's
like there's
fucking huge for a linear single-player game.
yeah, it's
so
massive.
hang on.
Like the
we
levels
just
are
all
big, but yeah.
we all just finished Days Gone. That's 30 to 40 hours of core content.
It's an open world.
It's a linear game. The storyline.
No,
it's
open
an
world.
open.
It's
It's
100%
literally an
100%
open world.
You can only complete the quests in a certain sequence, and there's no choices to be made. It's fairly fucking linear.
But you can pick which quests you want to do and which ones you want to go to.
If you only want to finish the game to get to the end of the story, if you don't do any optional side quests whatsoever, there is 30 to 40 hours of core content that you must follow and complete.
I highly
Google it,
disagree
bro.
because I
Google it.
finished it. I finished it quicker than that.
Okay, but the average person takes 30 to 40 hours. That
I'd
is
say
the
34
average.
hours. Yeah,
30 to 40 hours
it's
is
not
the
a linear game.
average
It's open
core.
world. It's open world as
You're
shit.
talking travel. You're talking travel to places and everything like that. This is locations that you're at that you're going between. You've got set paths where you slightly vary off to pick up a collectible, but other than that,
I get the
within an
difference
environment.
between
It's a
an
set
open,
path.
like a sandpit environment with a linear storyline versus a linear game. I get the difference. I'm just saying that 18 hours
Do
of
you?
yes, fuck yourself, sarcastic fuck. Have you finished talking about Guardians?
I'm
I'm
almost
sorry,
finished my
we've
third
annoyed
beer, by the
Peter
way.
now.
Yeah.
We have to switch conversation topics because he's annoyed that he's wrong.
Hey,
You
I'll
got shut
continue.
down.
I'll continue arguing it
it's
if you
fine.
want.
That's
If
fine.
you
I'm
want
done. I'm done.
you want to hang your
Let's talk
hat on
about
this
beers.
point for the rest of the episode, I'm fucking happy to have it out. Biatch.
What? Because we're both right and you're wrong.
I'm happy being the underdog. Yeah, let's talk
I
about
mean,
the
the
beers.
wrong dog.
Let's talk about the beers. You're just getting childish now, motherfucker. What are you drinking, Tom? You can go first.
I am drinking a collab from Capital and Mountain Culture, their West Coast NEIPA. It's just out this week, actually. It's just been,
I've seen that online, actually.
Yeah, so the two head brewers for these breweries, one's from the West Coast of the US and one's from the East Coast. And so they've said they met in the middle to make a hybrid IPA. So yes, a West Coast New England IPA. It's got a complex hop profile, touch of bitterness, and signature dryness of a West Coast. But it's got a pillowy mouthfeel, lifted fruits and deep haze, unmistakable from an East Coast IPA, that make it endlessly sessionable. I would not say at 7% it is endlessly sessionable. That is a fallacy.
It's not a
I
session
think I
IPA,
could
that's
have,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. It's pouring quite hazy. Not as hazy as some of the other mountain culture kind of NEIPAs you get. You can definitely feel that kind of influence from both breweries. Mountain Culture obviously smashing out the NEIPAs left, right, and centre. They're definitely at the forefront. If not, I will happily say the best NEIPAs in Australia at the moment. Or producer in Australia at the moment.
I would,
say
yeah.
that, yeah.
And then you definitely get that Capital influence. They like some of the Capital NEIPA, the Hang Loose juice is a cracking little NEIPA. Not little in terms of ABV. I think it's about 7% as well. It just have a different feel. It's that they're just that really soft. That it does feel like you're drinking pillows. It's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. And but yeah, I get good balance of fruit, a nice bit of bitterness, but not overpowering. And yeah, this is it's great. If you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend it. I've seen a few before, like in previous years, of people trying to do that West Coast
East
NEIPA
Coast.
kind of hybrid.
Yeah.
But I think these guys have really nailed it. So yeah, 100% get on it.
Cool.
Thank you to Damien from Capital for dropping this can off me today. You're a legend. mate. Thank you.
Damien. I like Damien.
Good old Damo. He's a good egg.
I've got a Co-Conspirators. I've never really had any Co-Conspirators.
Other than on the show, you've had about 10 on the show.
Have I?
Yeah.
You had the butcher
There you
last
go.
week, didn't you?
No,
You had
that
the
was
double
me.
butcher?
The double butcher, that was me.
I was going to say. Definitely wasn't me.
Informant.
They're
I swear to God.
hazy IPA.
I'm sure.
What are you swearing about?
I swear we've tried that one on the show before.
Well, there you go. Go back through your
all right.
Untapped.
I
Prove me
will.
wrong.
I will. No,
Yeah.
I'm not proving you wrong. Why is everything so adversarial with you fuckers tonight?
It's
He told us
I
it was
lied.
an
This,
open world game when it's a linear game. Blah, blah, blah.
this was a 6% IPA, so it's slightly out of my 5 point something limit tonight.
Oh, well, Dan's
Are you
fine.
going to be all right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
We'll get him a pillow to lie on.
Let's see what this one is. Oh, yeah, no, my next one is I've pulled these out in completely the wrong... Because I bought about 8 of them, and I've gone to the fridge and just grabbed the ones that I actually feel like drinking now, not the ones that I intended to drink.
You have a responsibility to drink the beer that you want to drink.
Throwing caution to the wind tonight. Yeah.
Sorry, the Westpac chopper's been quite loud tonight.
Yeah, it is. I can actually hear it. Yeah.
It's the hospital's literally like across the pond from me, so I can see the helicopter taking off and landing again. It's fucking annoying. I'm glad that they're out there saving lives, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
But it's interrupting our podcast. If they could kindly turn the noise on that chopper down, that'd be great.
So this hazy IPA...
Put a silencer on the chopper. I'm just imagining the rotors with silencers on them.
Well, you
They're
do.
just oil filters.
You got the... now we're going completely on a fucking tangent. You don't the stealth helicopters, I say that in massive quotation marks, they have an opposite rotor.
A counter rotor is not for
the counter rotors.
It's not for quieting it down. It's to help it auto rotate easier. So it's a counterbalance essentially for the rotor. It means it takes less energy to keep the helicopter aloft.
Okay. So I don't know how
See, I'm just picturing that guys have to like spin on giant silencers onto the rotors now, like you did when you were in GoldenEye.
On the end of it.
Typically, when you're talking about stealth helicopter, you're actually talking about the materials they use and the radar cross section it generates.
Anyway, back to the
Peter,
fucking
what are you
beer.
drinking?
No, wait a minute. I'm not finished yet.
You're done? Okay.
Very
silly.
This is a hazy IPA in comparison to the hazy pale ale that I had just before. Mm-hmm. So obviously the hazy IPA, slightly higher bitterness, slightly higher hop content, and hop expression. And it's definitely that. It's a step up from the what was it, Melbourne Fog that I just had from Hop Nation. It is that step up. A little bit more bitterness, not a huge amount. But definitely the hop expression is quite different. It's got quite a lot of New Zealand hops in it. It's got El Dorado, obviously not a New Zealand hop, but the other 3 are the Waititi, Waimea, and Nelson. They're all, those 3 are New Zealand hops. So it's got that slightly, and this isn't a bad description, it's got that slightly diesely New Zealand hop character. Mm-hmm. Slight little bit of New Zealand funk hop character, and it just balances out really nicely.
Yeah, cool. I'm a big fan of Co-Conspirators. I've loved their beers for a while. I think they're either just or are about to just open their tap room down in Victoria as well. I'd love to get down there and check it out.
Good on them. Labels nicely lined up too.
Yeah,
Brunswick.
It's pretty close.
Slight millimetre out. This is going to be our thing. Ragging on people for bad labels.
Mine's a printed can.
Printed can.
So ways to make helicopters quieter is increase the pitch of the rotor blades.
Search history.
Modify the tail rotor. A lot of the noise comes out of tail rotor.
I'd like to know that he was listening to my beer description.
I totally was.
Looking up how to make helicopters
Do
quieter.
you guys religiously have
topic.
to listen back to every episode 7 times to edit it? No, I'll catch it up on the rerun. Don't you worry. I heard hop expression.
We can have a conversation about it in 4 days in time when you've done all that.
It'll be done tomorrow. I did actually hear most of it. I am drinking a 3 Ravens. So I sent away for the... Because I'm a tight ass. I'm not, but I am. But I am not, but I'm not.
No, you are absolutely not. You are like the complete opposite definition of a tight ass.
A wanker?
Hey, big spender.
So I think I've probably called you that many times in your life.
Wanker?
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of times.
So it wouldn't be
for
the first
various
time.
reasons. So, so I bought
Especially all
the
the wanking.
The 8th. It's all those videos I keep accidentally on purpose sending Dan. I sent away for the...
I am so glad that's not true.
Anyway, you got 3 Ravens pack?
I sent away for the 3 Ravens 8th birthday 12-pack. So I didn't go
And
for
happy birthday, 3 Ravens.
Yeah,
Well done. 8 years. Good on
8
you.
years is a long time in the craft industry in Australia. It's got to be up there. But it comes with the limited edition kind of mini Stein. I've estimated it at 350 mils. It's a nice thick Stein glass. It's got lots of...
It looks good.
Nice
It
and
looks
heavy
nice and
and
beautiful,
solid.
yeah.
And it's got the... I love the 3 Ravens logo, which you probably can't see in this light, but it's very stylistic. And it's a lot of Norse mythology What? What are you laughing at me for?
We couldn't quite see it. It wouldn't quite focus on it. And you said, I love the Three Ravens logo. And I just had to bite my tongue saying, is it Three Ravens? Sorry.
Yes, it is Three Ravens. Did I say the wrong thing there?
No.
It is Three
Yeah,
Ravens.
they've done a... no, I agree with
There you go.
I'm going back to the Norse mythology little comment. They've done a bunch of beers that kind of reference...
So for their 8th birthday, they've brewed 3 special, limited edition beers, one for each of the 3 ravens. And each raven has a name. I can't remember the Norse story, but it's like Mandy, Handy, and fucking Joe or some shit like that.
Monan and Hogan, which is thought and memory, which are Odin's 2 ravens, yes.
Which is
And
also
the
the name
third
of
was
my
like Loki.
individual earpods. I've named them Hugin and Mugen.
And the third is I think it's a Loki kind of inspired raven. He's the trickster, he's the Joker, he's kind of the outlier. Anyway, so tonight I'm drinking their New World IPA. Loud, zesty, and dank. And I've got to say, the description, and I'll ask Dan to explain in layman's terms what dank is, because I can tell you that a beer is dank, but I could... What?
No, not you. I just looked up Three Ravens on Crafty Pint, and they call their instead of the core range, they call it the core, as in CAW range. That really just got me.
Wow. Did everyone smoke a blunt in the fucking break? Is that what happened?
No,
I didn't get the memo.
I'm going to drive tomorrow. It's no fun.
I love a good dad joke. That's great.
Yeah.
Core
that's
range.
good.
Fucking hell. It's 5 point. I've got to say, the can art is beautiful and simple. It's nice and purple.
Yeah.
It's my favourite colour, but fuck, it's a bitch
It's
to
a
read.
good purple. Yeah.
It's a
at it
bitch
now.
to read.
I'm
the back.
thinking of Raven and Crow memes now. You've
Fu-
seen the one where there's two crows sitting there on a bench and it's attempted murder?
Yep.
Yeah. It's been going around recently, actually.
Yeah.
5.8%. The Ampeg fridge of our lineup features a lean malt base and a heavy dose of hops, centre stage. A hint of this dank party juice will crank your taste buds up to... I know it's supposed to say 11, but it actually says 1L, as in 1 litre. Keep cold, drink fresh.
Oh, dear.
Doesn't have an IBU rating on it. As an IPA, it is actually fucking brilliant. It's not over the top in terms of the hop characteristics. It's like you get a lot of hoppy note in it, but you also get a lot of the juiciness. It's an orangey, citrusy juice, and you get orange peel or rind on the back palate. It's quite lasting, which is typically what you'd expect to have an IPA with quite a high bitterness. You get that long, drawn-out aftertaste. But for this beer, it's very orange rind.
Yeah, cool.
It's really nice, and I'm smashing it, to be honest. I drank that surprisingly quickly, so it's a bloody good drop. Explain dank, please, Dan.
So for the dank characteristic, actually, what you just said there about orange peel, orange rind actually goes quite well into it. It's that wet, and this isn't a bad description.
Like a wet sock.
Wet hop character. So it's the wet. It's how do I break this down? It's taking that resin and pine and making it those ideas and those flavor expressions and more in a deeper, rounded sense than, I guess, a sharper, fruity sense. Mm-hmm. It's more of a, like you said, a long, drawn-out flavor profile in a piney character, and the resin, the orange peel that you were just talking about really helps with that. That's that oiliness. From it.
Dank beers remind me of weed.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, but not everybody has smelt a bag or held an
Smoked
ounce
a
in their
bowl.
hand and opened a bag or smoked a bowl.
I think it's just that strong odor. Like,
Haven't held a
that I
bag,
get
smoked a bowl.
From a dank beer. It's like it smashes you in the face compared to some other IPA characters.
By the way, Season 4, Episode 17, held the bag, smoked the bowl.
Not bad, Peter. Write that one down quickly.
New World IPA. I'm not a huge fan of IPAs. I kind of I'm a sours guy, and I like some off the hook shit as well that comes along. But that's actually really enjoyable. I don't typically smash IPAs. I usually bear them, if that makes sense. Fuck that
The
helicopter.
helicopter's back again.
Yeah. It's working overtime. I'm going
Get to the chopper.
And I'm going to work overtime to get rid of it in the fucking post.
Leave it in.
Let's talk about...
of the
we are...
Indians and
This is
the-
going to be another 3-hour episode, but it's just going to be 2 hours of talking shit.
We're gonna smash through.
Have you
this
seen
next
our
hour.
trailer list, man? Let's talk trailer
Yeah,
trash.
but half of them are only like 2 seconds long.
True. It's
Let's
disappointing,
start with the
actually.
big. The first two are the big ones.
Yeah.
Do you want? We'll start with Uncharted.
Yep.
Uncharted. What a great series.
Terrible.
What a great game series.
Terrible.
Oh no. All right. Well, Dan hates it, so that's. Anyway, guys, it's been a nice episode. So we'll see you next week.
There's a wrap. Yep.
Yeah. No time for it. I'm a fan of the Uncharted games, so I'm
Oh,
excited.
I love
by
the
this.
Uncharted games. I think the games
Never
are
played
fucking
them.
amazing. They're super fun.
Treat yourself, Peter.
They're semi-open world. There's another one for you. Put that in your fucking bag and smoke it.
Which ones?
So, what do you mean? Which ones?
Oh, I thought Uncharted. The first three were pretty linear. We're not getting into it.
No. The
fighting.
number 4 is
Four
a
is,
semi open world. So small segments like God of War that
Yep.
could be explored to do collectibles, or you had to go to several areas multiple times within a large environment to complete puzzles. And
It
things
always
like that.
reminds me
the
of Tomb
first-
Raider, but
The
different.
the first 3 were very Tomb Raider. They were very.
Yep.
The first 3 were very
100%,
linear.
Pete.
What's the earliest in the series I can play on a PS5?
Oh, they
All of
remastered
them.
they did them all for
remastered it.
PS4.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'll go
yeah,
back
come
and...
on.
I've been thinking about maybe... Because we're planning on eventually, when we all get time, and when I say we all, I mean you two, get time, we plan to stream Borderlands 3. I'm thinking about actually streaming Borderlands 1 just by myself as a solo, because I've never played any of the Borderlands games, and it might be a good introduction to... In parallel, we'll play 3, but in the background a couple of times
There
a
are
week.
some
I
story
might-
elements you'll definitely for 3 that you'll pick up along the other 2. They're not
Plus it looks
crucial,
fun.
but just some characters. Yeah,
It looks like
they
an
are very
easy-to-play
fun
game that
They are
just
very fun games. Yeah,
Put up, pick
And
up and
you'll
put
laugh at-
down.
yeah,
You'll laugh
Um,
at Claptrap all the way through.
yeah. Fucking psycho that he is. So yes, the Uncharted, for those who've never played an Uncharted game or seen anything about it, it's essentially a modern day Indiana Jones. He's a treasure hunter, bit of a rogue, bit of a ladies' man. Ooh.
Bit of a swashbuckler. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of James Bond mixed with indie.
Yeah, and then
More
a bit of,
more indie than James
more
Bond.
definitely
but
more
a
indie.
little-
Yeah. No, there's no real gadgets or anything. A very interesting game element that into those games that it wasn't when your damage meter. They actually came out and said this after 3. It wasn't you taking damage. It was your luck running out of avoiding shots.
Okay.
That's how they described it. It was that. So Nate, who's the main character, Nathan Drake, who's a descendant of Francis Drake, and it's all about the Francis Drake legacy of Spanish gold and pirates and all that kind of shit. So the whole thing about the damage meter, which I really found really cool, was that you weren't taking hits and like shrugging off like bullets. It was that your luck was running out, and eventually you got shot.
That's excellent. I mean,
Yeah.
that when they think about
Yeah.
whether that was a
post or
game think of,
Yeah.
it's
a
No,
reverse
no,
justification
they-
or whatever they call it.
She showed like one of the original documents for them first coming out with Uncharted, and she's like you think about indie, like there's plenty of times he should have been shot or
Amy
killed.
Hennig or whatever.
Amy
her name
Hennig,
is.
yeah, and the game development studios Naughty Dog, who's behind
Naughty
Last
Dog,
of Us
yeah.
and Crash and all these kind of things.
We've not talked about that either. Last of Us have announced they're making is it a TV series or a movie?
HBO series, yeah.
It is a series. I'm actually really
Let's-
excited to see that. Yeah, I know.
Let's
Let's
stay on
finish
topic
one
for
thing.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, Dan.
yeah, so travels around the world trying to find treasure, all this kind of stuff, like classic Indiana Jones. And then the trailer dropped. So there's essentially 3 main characters in the Uncharted games. There's Nathan Drake, who is in the movie is going to be played by Tom Holland. There's Sully, who is being played by Mark Wahlberg, which is a very interesting choice.
It's a very terrible fucking choice. They had an absolute perfect casting of it with fucking Bruce Campbell.
Yes, they did.
Just put it out there. Bruce Campbell in a mustache like he has in the new Black Friday.
I love
Black
Bruce
Friday
Campbell.
trailer.
Sorry? I said I love Bruce Campbell.
Oh, I thought you said I don't know Bruce Campbell. I was about to have to drive to North Sydney and slap you upside the head.
I don't, who's Bruce Campbell? I don't know who Bruce Campbell
Yeah.
is. Come and get it.
just runs to his car. I can't drive. I'm too pissed.
No, I love
and
him.
then-
I've got no frame of reference, though, because I've never played the games, right? But I'd love to see him in another movie like that, in a kind of mentor, old guy,
It's a
grizzled
mentor.
veteran.
He's a mentor, swindler, like treasure hunter kind of dude. He's not by any means like a good mentor.
But you know what's great about...
very much taken Nate's like love of history and being like, you know,
I'm
what's
going to
great?
manipulate
Gold.
it into you getting
Gold's
me shit.
great.
Money.
Like,
Money.
But-
We can get this and we can sell it. Yeah.
But what's
Yeah.
fantastic about Uncharted as a series is I've never played a single game. I've never really even watched the trailers. I've not watched gameplay, but I can tell just by looking at the cover and the pictures of that character I've seen exactly the kind of person he is. To me, that speaks volumes about how well they've marketed that character.
100%. Yeah.
And art direction through the whole thing too. I mean,
Consistency and everything. Yeah. So and then the trailer dropped. I don't know. It's there's a lot of elements from various games in there. There's a famous scene in Uncharted 3, which is hanging out the back of the plane off.
Yeah.
And that's hanging off like the cargo things, which you see in the trailer. But then you also see him swimming up to a giant pirate ship, which you see in Uncharted 4. So I don't know where this game's going to really sit in terms of the mythos of Uncharted.
It's a prequel to the games, apparently.
And then the
prequel to the games.
I'm on IMDb now, and unfortunately, I'm sorry about that.
It is
No.
absolutely not a prequel to the game.
The story is a prequel to the game, starring Holland as a younger Drake, showing us details of how he came to meet and befriend Sally.
If he
Then they're using
does,
scenes from Uncharted 3, which is when he's like, okay.
This guy is the worst fucking history repeated. Then if he repeats the exact same thing that he did previously in his younger life, in his older life, that is absolute fucking bullshit. And whatever fucking site that is written on,
IMDb?
they need to be absolutely torn down by the fucking fans, because
There you
that
go.
is
Fans,
wrong.
rise up and tear down IMDb.
Yeah,
Right
do it, because
to
that is wrong.
Uncharted at imdb.com.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just,
no,
I'm
I
just reading
100%.
that
It shouldn't. It can't be a prequel if there, unless is it a
Who knows?
prequel,
I mean, it's-
flashback, time jumps? I don't
Isn't
know,
IMDb kind of like Wikipedia, where any fuckwit with an email address can update it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably. I don't know either. Yeah, but
I'm
it's,
gonna find out. I'm gonna inject myself
it's a
into
rollicking,
some of these movies.
a rollicking romp through trying to
Frolicking
find
romp or a
rollicking romp,
Okay.
rollicking romp through trying to find ancient treasure and it's kind of like it could, if it does well, if they do it well, it could be a
Good movie.
new indie. It could be like
I miss Indy.
It won't be. It won't be. It'll be.
Still
it'll be
a level
another-
more in the
won't be any
tank.
Nazis, but and that's the whole indie thing. You need Nazis in indie.
It'll be a on par with the new Tomb Raider movie. That's what it'll be. It'll be on par. It'll be a popcorn movie. It'll be forgettable. They'll make 2 of them, maybe 3, and the rest of them will go direct to Netflix.
Yeah, the
and
cash cow
they'll
will be
recast
empty.
it. They'll recast it in 3 because they'll admit that they completely fucked up the storylines and wasted the opportunity they have, like they have done with every single fucking video game movie that
They
has ever
have
been
butchered
made.
video game movies for it. I am I guess probably hopelessly optimistic about the idea of this.
No,
I was
I'm
definitely
with
with a
Dan.
lot of
We're
with a lot
old
of
and
fans.
cynical.
I was disappointed that it wasn't Nathan Fillion playing an older Nathan Drake.
Yeah, that
Like,
would have been perfect.
Well, he's done fan films for it, and they're fucking great. Like you can find them on YouTube. They're absolutely fantastic, and he's fantastic in it. But
It is the character is Nathan Fillion through and through. Like
I'm
absolutely,
sure they
him
based it
through
on
and
him. Yeah,
through.
when they wrote it,
they
yeah.
must have. Yeah,
but
and everybody wanted him to play the character. Everybody,
And
it was
he's a mad fucking junkie for this shit too. So I'm surprised
he
he didn't
loves
put
it.
his
He
hand up
absolutely
and.
loves
well. That's why he did the. There's a really very high quality fan film, Uncharted fan film with him as Nathan Drake and the guy that plays the general in Avatar as Sully.
Okay.
I don't like him as Sully.
They're disposable kind of characters and disposable
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
actors
he was-
to me.
he
They're
was-
all
he's
the
a very generic.
The silver flat top with a fucking stogie hanging out of his mouth, right? It's so
yeah.
fucking
I mean,
trope.
that's Sully
But-
to a T. Yeah.
But that's why Bruce Campbell needed to play that character, because he would have brought so much character outside
Sully is a
character
character.
to that character.
Dynamism, yeah.
Charisma.
Yeah.
And everything
Sully
there.
needs
And-
charisma. Sully needs more charisma
Yeah.
than Nathan Drake, and Nathan Drake's
Yeah.
the star of the show. Like
Yeah.
Sully's meant to be.
But Tom
Holland's
Holland's
going to
kill that for charisma. That is Tom
How is
Holland.
this old guy still getting these like people to do this shit for him when it's like old Han Solo, where he's like when they're like Conjure Club's like, nah, fuck you, and then the other guy's like, no, fuck you, and he's like, what? I still got it. Like, yeah,
that's exactly what he's mate. He's wheeling and dealing constantly in the background,
and he's fucked over everyone. But he shouldn't be able to pull it off. But he still somehow does.
His friends are his friends, and Nate is like an adopted son to him, and that's what it comes across as, and that's how he treats him.
Yeah,
and that relationship between Sully and Nate through the whole thing, and even in 4 when another character comes into the mix, Pete, I won't spoil it for you. There's conflict, but there's also family involved, like adopted family, as
there's
well
a
as
chick
real family.
in the 4th one I've seen that I'm assuming is probably part of the reference you're making.
No. She's in 1, 3, and 4. That's like Nate's girlfriend kind of thing. Yeah,
right. Well, that's the blonde-haired one, and then you've got the Claudia Black character that does the Lost Worlds with, which is the side game, which is a main game of its own, of Uncharted 4.
Okay.
It's called Uncharted.
Really
the
recommend
Lost
them,
Worlds.
Pete. You'd love those games.
Yeah,
they could actually. There you go. That could be your next one.
Yeah, it is quite different too. Yeah, cool. All right, I'll do that.
To an extent, it's different.
All right, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm 100% going to go see it, and I'm keen. But yeah, I think I'm stupidly optimistic because
I'm old and
rebellion's a build on hope.
I've gotten excited too many times for conversion from good video game IPs into good movies, and it just almost never works.
It's fucking cursed.
The closest I think we've come in a long time is the one fight scene of Batman in Batman v Superman when he pops up in that warehouse and takes out all those fuckers, and it just reminded me of
where Batfleck
just reminds me of Arkham so much. And if they'd made a movie out of that would have been perfect for me. I would have just jizzed. That would have been me done.
It's a comic book property. It's not a video game property. And granted, that was a very video game scene.
It was a reflection of the game more than it was the comic character, because the fluidity of the fighting, the style of fighting, how like the combat was straight from the Arkham games.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I
get that the IP comes from
10 minutes doesn't make a doesn't make.
Why they couldn't just make a movie out of that? We're going to fly through the rest of
Batman.
Yeah, I think we're going to fly through the rest, though, because there's not that much actual content there. The Batman...
I don't know. I've got a bit to say about the Batman.
Okay.
You go then. Dive right in. Come on, sunshine.
I mean, you guys know me. I'm fucking... I'm the
Batman
DC
whore.
fanboy. I'm definitely the Batman whore. I have a beautiful Batman piece tattooed on my left leg. I still continuously read Batman comics and detective comics. They turn up at my house in a wonderful little bundle of joy every week or two, and I'm very excited to see where the storylines go. And so I've got to say, some of the comic books at the moment are still pretty damn good as well. We're about to flow into some more Scarecrow stuff, which is top notch.
How do we still get, after almost 100 years, probably longer, 100 years of fucking amazing comic book writing, we still get shit writing. 100 years.
It's close to. It's not quite, but close to.
We still get shit writing in movies. I don't get it. In the same fucking IP scheme, right? It's the same character in the same world.
But they're not stuck to tropes. They're not stuck to first, second, last act. They are to an extent, obviously, because they need to round a story out. But they're not stuck to being caught in the same tropes. So they can make these outlandish villains not based in the real world. They can make these outlandish heroes that never age and continue on.
I'm not paying $30 to see a movie to have everything grounded in reality. I'm cool if they make a... You know what?
Well, you're not going to like the Batman then.
If they made a... Yeah, I get it. I get it. But if they made a DC universe that diverged from grounding in reality for everything, and it was larger than life, people would flock. People would flock to it.
Well, I think they proved that they wouldn't. But
well, hang on. Yeah, we've talked about this to death, but they didn't. In fairness to Snyder, the guy had to bail because his daughter passed away tragically. We never saw a Snyder movie. No, we saw 2 Snyder movies, but we never saw the culmination of his plot and where it was going.
The problem with what he did and I know this is a deviation as well, is he deviated
We are deviants.
too much from... I'm holding a Nerf bullet here, by if anybody's wondering. This is my my fiddle stick. I need to get a fidget spinner.
Fidget spinner, yeah. I'm muting the fucking Westpac chopper.
The problem with the Snyderverse is it deviated from original IP. The biggest thing, obviously, and we've talked this to death, so I'm not gonna continue on about it. The Batman kills, the Superman kills, Wonder Woman can kill because she is. Guess what's been the most fucking raved about popular DC fucking movie? Wonder Woman, because it doesn't deviate from the original source material. It
Also,
does
fucking terrible. The second movie was tragically bad with that hyena bitch or whatever her name was. Cheetah.
Cheetah.
It was just terrible.
That hyena bitch.
But like it was just terrible. Like it was such a poorly fucking
I think
made
it's
character.
just come out on Netflix. So
It was
I'll
like
get
an
around to it.
afterthought.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like someone went to Big W and bought a fucking $20 Halloween costume and slapped it on the bitch.
Yeah, that part of it was bad. I like some elements of that movie. I've got to say, I am a bit of a cheesy '80s movie person, so I can deal with that. But okay, back to the Batman.
The Batman.
I think it's going to be the extra characters in the movie outshine the Batman. I think Alfred as Andy Serkis as Alfred, I should say, not Alfred as Andy
Really?
Serkis. Andy Serkis as Alfred.
He's playing
I
a
think
human for a change. That's awesome.
Yep. I think he's going to be the grizzled ex-Green Beret taking over his father's mantle with the beret, looking after the Waynes. He's going to be an amazing character.
Which I loved in the Gotham TV series, by the way. He stole the show, that storyline.
Definitely along that. I forget the guy that plays Commissioner Gordon, but he's a fucking excellent actor.
He's in all the Bond films. He plays Felix.
Yes, Felix Leiter. Yes,
Yep.
He's fucking excellent.
Yep, I'll find his name.
Zoe
Felix.
Kravitz as Selena Kyle is a fucking amazing choice, except for her dirty long nails that they have in there. Like
She is playing Catwoman.
No, Catwoman has never had real like
Grimy
1-inch think
Jeffrey Wright plays-
Nosferatu fucking nails. She's never had them. She has
Yeah, you're right.
nails within the gloves that serves a purpose of her cat burgling.
Self-defense
What are
and
these
climbing.
fucking what are these blunt fucking
Maybe she likes to
calcium
play.
fucking
Maybe she
deposit.
likes to play a bit of flamenco guitar on the side, man. You don't know.
Yeah, she would, because it's a left hand that she touches her face with, and it's got this dirty fucking thumbnail on that's 2 inches long and about an inch deep. Like, it's horrible.
Maybe she's a Coke fan. Needs a Coke nail.
Yeah, coke nail. That's what it'd be good for.
Yeah.
That really gets me down, because she is the perfect character, the perfect actor for Selena Kyle. I think she's amazing, and
I agree.
I'd love to see her in more stuff. She's got the short hair. She's got the Selena short hair, which is even better. She's slim. She's fit. She fits that Catwoman persona perfectly. Colin Farrell in a fat suit as Oswald
penguin suit,
Cobblepot.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, like, sign me up for him.
Jeffrey Wright is in this as well. So he's the African American who's the watcher.
Yes, Felix.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
The younger guy that plays, the younger nerdy guy that's in fucking everything, that plays the Riddler. He's perfect casting there as well. We've only seen him from the back in the trailers, but you'll know as soon as you look him up who it is. I think I really want to believe in Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne and the Batman, but I am, after watching that trailer, I'm completely not convinced by him. I think he's going to be completely outshone.
I tend to agree with you. I don't.
It's going to be another Heath Ledger outshining Bale.
Yeah.
Even though
Bale's a fucking strong Batman too. He's a strong actor.
Bale and Neeson against each other in Batman Begins was two powerhouses together, which nobody outshone each other. They came on the same level, but then Ledger's portrayal of this maniacal, insane character, it was...
I still laugh my head off watching those. And you're not supposed to laugh, right? It's not a funny... It's dark.
The fucking pencil joke. Like, there is nothing better. There is no better kill in cinematic history than the fucking pencil kill.
Make a pencil disappear.
I often I don't know how many times since that movie's come out that I've been like, okay, I need two people. I need one of you two to do this thing. And then I jokingly, like, snap a pool cue, like, mimic snapping a pool cue, being like, figure it out. Like, one of you's doing this, one of you isn't. Like
Aggressive expansion.
Yeah. It's just, and it's purely because of that movie that I've just gone, like, yeah, okay, like, here we go. One of you needs to do this. Figure it out. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Yes, boss.
Paul Dano, I don't think I've seen him in anything, but I can tell straight away just by looking at the guy.
Definitely.
He is playing Edward Nygma.
So he was actually in a Denis Villeneuve movie, so the director of Dune, called with Hugh Jackman, called.
Why is he Edward Nashton? I thought his name was
I
Edward
know the guy you're talking
Nygma.
about. Yep. I just looked him up. I know exactly.
What was it called? It's a single word.
Are you talking about a movie that Paul Dano's been in?
Yeah, he was in it with Hugh Jackman. Prisoners. That's it. It's a Denis Villeneuve movie.
Haven't seen it. Prisoners.
Is that the one where Hugh Jackman loses his kids and he goes, I haven't watched it. I've seen the trailer. I've always wanted to watch it. I need to sit down and just do it.
Yeah, so I think the surrounding cast is... I think the cast is amazing. I think Matt Reeves as the director is amazing. I think the art direction is amazing. I think the trailer and the film looks excellent. But I think that
I really like the Batmobile, I gotta say.
Muscle car, fuck yeah. I'm so glad they did that.
The little bit where you see Pattinson talking to Riddler through the doing the interrogation between the prison glass, where he thumps it, like, that is just not convincing for me. Like, is
that compared to the Bale Ledger interrogation scene? Because I don't know if that could ever really be topped.
Everything's going to be compared to Ledger as Joker.
I think that's where they've made a mistake. And we haven't seen this movie. We don't know the context of it. And I'm going off a trailer, off a movie that has won Oscars kind of thing. So, but you look at that and you've got them in the same room. Batman in the comic books has been on the other side of the glass interrogating people. He's been on the same side of the glass interrogating people. And I know it's set in the early years, so I've got to take that character emotion into account as well. So I don't know. It seemed like a really loose scene. It felt like the Batman wasn't in control of the scene, like he is in all of the other media that he's always involved in. I just felt that...
No, I get what you mean, 100%.
That let him down. But the shot where the end of the trailer where he jumps the Batmobile through the fire and the Penguin's looking at him walking out of the car.
You can't help but can have a turgid penis.
Yeah,
it's just a rip. You can't.
The way if that cape flowing off the Batman is a actual physical cape, and they got it to flow like that, not post digital.
Yeah.
You've got to give it to the fucking set director for that, because that is the perfect. And he looks great.
I really like
suit.
the cowl, like the way his cowl's done in this, where it's like a popped collar, and then I saw something the other day. It was on it was looking at all the different cowls over the years, but the fact that he has like this kind of it's not like a massively pop collar. It's like slightly raised, but and then it turns inside. I thought that was really cool.
It's pretty significantly raised, and I remember the very early, like the first reveal photos. It reminds me of an Alpine Stars riding jacket, like a sports bike jacket. And I'll show you the photo I'm talking about.
I've got two more points that I need to get off my chest here.
To me, that looks like racing bike armor.
No, not that one. No, go.
But look at his collar.
But I think that's his riding equipment. Like it looks like a different suit.
It's also a stunt man. So
yeah,
yes, it's a leather
that's
jacket.
A model. That looks excellent. That model. That looks fucking great. No, the one you clicked on before. That one.
Yeah.
In the big screen. No.
I can't read your mind.
So that's all right. My last 2 points. One is about the cowl as well. The Christian Bale cowl was to restrictive, too close to the mouth. It would cut off too much of his cheeks and cut off his ability to articulate
Share my
properly.
screen now and show the one I was talking about.
And then I think the Pattinson one is too far down because it's actually down back behind his jawline, so completely behind his.
That's what I'm talking about, where you can see it there.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, no one
I
else can see
actually
that, so
think
fuck yeah.
I think the best cowl has been the best mouth space on the cowl has been the Affleck one, where it's been sort of 3/4 of his cheeks, but not all the way back behind his jawline, which exposed too much of his face.
I think we complained when the shot of his helmet first came out that it looked like he had a massive forehead. It was just like, is he going to headbutt the shit out of everyone?
Well, that was the photo I showed you, right? That was the first Pattinson.
Yeah.
And the other thing you'll notice,
so pronounced.
You'll notice that basically it's not even a mask anymore. It's a half mask. It stops at his fucking nose line, goes all the way to his ears, and then down under his Adam's apple. So half
that's
his face
exactly
is
what
hanging
I'm
out.
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Way too open.
For me, that feels too far around, and I think it's great for the actor and their ability to emote, but for the visual aspect of the character, I think
because we've talked about that
it's
before,
too much.
right? The prosthetics they use or the materials that they use have come a long way. Material science has come a long way for these characters playing inside these masks, but they're fundamentally never going to be as emotive as the comic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
Because those...
Not even close.
Deadpool's the closest ever got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
my last point, and then I'll stop ranting so people can speak. But my last point was something Tom brought up as well. Is fucking Batman fucking completely impervious to bullets now? Like they just walk into
That really
two
turned me
full-on
off. Yeah,
machine gun fires. And
That was a full-on hail of bullets too.
And
It was
only-
a good beat in that trailer with the music. And I remember when Chris
Yeah.
used to get in the shits about this when they timed up beats in the trailer.
Because
to
that was
music
when it
bits.
had first started, and it's in almost
Yeah.
every action flick
Yeah,
now as part of the trailer.
You know, it's fine, whatever. It works. It works for a trailer. But, like,
Gets me
those,
excited.
those bullets, like, they were flying.
They bounced off his chest. You could see
I
the
hope-
ricochets off his chest.
I hope there is an in-world reason for this. I hope there's something that they
Maybe
design.
Batman
Freeman
discovered
comes back
adamantium. Yeah.
well, not even a suit thing. Like some sort of device that deflects bullets at the last minute or something like that. Some sort of frequency that makes it move so it doesn't actually hit his suit. Because
second year, it's like, I don't know. Is it just is
It's
he
bouncing
wearing
off his
that
armor,
much
Dan.
steel that it bounces off?
It's
like,
bouncing
But
off
he
his
just
armor.
keeps. But he keeps walking too. That just the kinetic impact of that much bullet, you would not be able to keep that stride that he keeps taking.
I just finished saying that I wish they'd make a larger than life fucking world that's not grounded 100% in reality. I'm down with him. Just walking against the wind with the bullets and.
Okay, so let's pull that back to the warehouse scene where Affleck gets shot point blank in the back of the head.
Yep.
Okay. Absolutely, completely unrealistic. So completely comic book world.
Yep.
He still reacts to that in a way.
He says out.
That was
There is
realistic.
there's an audible and a little where he
It gives it
pulls
the
trigger there.
gravitas that you would expect out of a bullet to the back
It's like
of
a
the
little.
fucking
It's
head.
almost like a little metal. Like, ooh. It's like he's like gets fired up by it. He's just like,
and he but throughout that entire warehouse scene, he is actively avoiding gunfire.
Yes.
He isn't
Yes.
just going. No,
It's very much
he isn't doing
defense.
he isn't doing a Superman and marching down a corridor while people are firing machine guns at him, which is
Or the,
exactly
the Gatling gun
Patterson's
in the
doing.
eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's exactly what it needs to be compared to. And that's the problem with now trying to bring a Superman into this world. Is there is no difference between
Batman's already
that
fucking
scene
bulletproof.
and the Man of Steel.
Well, I mean,
we're going to
that's
have to
the
talk
thing.
about the fourth beer because I've got a mouthful left.
Yeah, me too.
I think that just on that, it's doing that pocket universe thing again, which they can't. They fucked that central universe so badly over the years.
Yeah.
They need to just do separate. This is what DC Universe 49, and then they're going to do back one and go back to like.
When
the
are they just going to
52nd
hire a
universe.
Feige? I mean, I want to talk about that, and we've got. Fuck, I told you we'd have shitloads to talk about with Trailer Trash, and I was right because we're at 2 hours now. But you can already see Feige's influence on the Star Wars universe that he brought to the Marvel universe.
Well, it was, but it's Favreau and Filoni. But yeah,
I'd put that.
What's with the fucking Fs?
Yeah, that's... maybe I'm just too pissed.
Famous. I don't know. Sorry,
Maybe I'm just too pissed. But you can see the Marvel
I get
blueprint.
entirely what you mean. Pete.
The Marvel
the
blueprint is now
100%.
being applied to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have a constellation
Disney.
of
Carry on
characters.
everything. Yeah.
You have but it's not Disney. The fact that Disney owned the two sets of IP is what's allowed it to happen. But it's not Disney. It's Marvel's concepts and blueprints for how to write a universe is now being applied to the Star Wars universe. You've got
But you'd
favorite
apply
actors.
that to Disney's influence and owning. Well, not Disney influence, but Disney.
But
owned
Marvel
them both,
was
so that
doing
they
it
can-
before Disney bought it. That's why I attribute
Yeah, but
it to the Marvel universe.
only since Disney's bought both of them has Star Wars started doing that.
Yeah, I'm talking about the origin of the blueprint. The origin of the blueprint came from the Marvel.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just
Marvel.
saying, like,
Yes.
for the Disney universe, like Star Wars universe, sorry, that it's because the Disney bought both that they
Yes.
brought them. They brought
Yes,
that over. Yeah,
but you're
But
seeing
it's also the love. It's also the love that comes from Favreau and Filoni to deal with that. If they didn't have a
same
Favreau
thing
and
with
Filoni,
Marvel. That's the love of Feige. Like Feige
yeah,
loves
yeah.
those characters. Yeah.
So
yeah. But they've got a DC's got a
I did get it right. It is
DC's
kind of
got
the
a
Feige
Disney lead.
blueprint.
Yeah. It is the Feige blueprint, 100%.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. I know. I agree. I was just fucking with you.
That's fine. I fell hook, line, and sinker. But the point is, you're starting to see Hayden Christensen come back from episodes 2 and 3 into the TV series. You've got Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ewan McGregor reprising his role as Obi. You've got oh my gosh, I can't remember Boba Fett's actor's name, and I've got a photo.
Tamara Morrison.
Tamira Morrison, thank you. I've got a photo of us standing there meeting him. But you've got this constellation of characters coming from
And you've
movie
got
media
Rosario
into
Dawn
TV
playing
series.
Ahsoka, who's tweeting,
Who's now gonna
pictures
meet-
of her with fucking Hayden
I
Christensen being
fucking
like,
love it.
"Welcome
It
back,
is-
Sky Guy." I was like, "I'm sorry, fucking what?"
It's exactly
settle
what
down,
we
Siri.
love about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where
Yeah.
lots of pockets of storyline finally come together in these massive climaxes, and I'm seeing that kind
Yeah,
of
100%.
I'm seeing that same sort of thing in the Star Wars universe. Let's talk about Beer 4, because at this rate, I don't want to end the episode. We're only at 2 hours, and I'm going to go get a 5th beer in a minute.
Yeah, I might go wrong.
What are you drinking, Dan?
Oh, I've got another little bang.
Fuck yeah.
I've got the collaboration with State Theatre Company. It's called Dark Arts. It's a gorgeous label.
Oh, I love that beer. Oh, I
It's-
hunt that down. You know how you hunt down the Moondog Black Forest?
Yeah.
I hunt down the Little Bang Dark Arts. If
Oh,
people have
if
them on
they've got
tap,
any, if they've got any left, I'll grab some. But it's a beautiful, beautiful label for a chocolate stout. It's a
Is it the
6.5%.
State Theatre? As in the...
I
State Theatre Company.
Yeah.
I imagine it'd be the Adelaide State Theatre Company, yeah.
No, Adelaide. Yeah, they're South Australia, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a little thin for what I expected. I expected a little bit more body, but the chocolate characters are definitely there. It's a beautiful, rounded chocolate stout. It's got some light sort of roast coffee characters to it.
Yep.
But obviously the chocolate dominates, being a chocolate stout. The body is just a little thin. I probably wouldn't want more. It's not sweet. It's quite dry. I probably would have liked to see a little bit more protein in there, just to thicken it up, just a touch. But it's a gorgeous beer. It's a
Fucking love that
it's
beer.
it's probably
excited.
because of the lower body on it. It's probably a much more drinkable stout, like a continuously drinkable stout.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
But gorgeous beer, gorgeous label. This one they've slightly not aligned.
Oh, those bastards.
But yeah, no, fantastic, really great. I was very skeptical.
love a good chocolate stout too.
Absolutely not skeptical of Little Bang's ability to create beer. I've had their beers before, and I think they're fantastic beers.
Yep.
But I grabbed 4 Little Bang beers. I haven't done all 4 because I was worried that each one of those wouldn't be as good as I would hope to be talking about on the podcast. So I didn't want to have to walk away and do another sink pour. And if we're doing a fifth beer, I'm going to go grab another little bang.
Cool. So I've got
Peter?
another 3 Ravens. This is
Nice.
55. This is an odd beer. Like I'm thoroughly enjoying it, but it's quite a, for me anyway, for my palate, it's a bit of a mind bender. 5.5% ABV. First brewed in 2008 to celebrate our 5th birthday. 5.5 is our unique take on the American-style pale ale brewed with 5 grains and 5 hops. We've restored this cult classic to its former glory and are rolling it out of the garage for old time's sake. Barley, wheat, rye, oats, corn, hops, yeast, water. And contains gluten. Sorry for the gluten-free people.
So we just did something similar at Australian Brewery. We just made a traditional American pale ale. We have not made an American pale ale in years. We did one recently we did a single hop Centennial one for a limited release. Centennial was a bit of a Hail Mary hop to use because it's not a very commonly used single hop. Because it's quite earthy and can have a few different things, but I was pretty sure it was going to work. We sold out of that in record time for our limited release stuff.
Yeah, wow.
We were sending 2 or 3 cases to a couple of bottle shops, and then the next week they were ordering 10.
Fuck.
We only made 150 cases of this, and they just cleared us out. And we were completely caught off guard without our next single hop one ready. So the next single hop one only went in tank this week, and all the
there's a gap.
stuff's gone.
Yeah.
And now there's a gap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
the American Pale Ale is it's one of those amazing styles that is great for. So it's once again to
It's
pull
quite
this-
dynamic.
pull
You
this-
can use it to demonstrate any kind of element of the beer as center stage.
You're actually really bang on there, Pete. Yeah, you can have quite a malt driven American Pale Ale, or you can have a very hop driven American Pale Ale, or you can have a balance of both.
This
And
5.5 is very much a balance. And
Yeah.
coming out of... So New World as an IPA is... It doesn't tell me if it's a single hop IPA, but I kind of suspect it is. The complexity of the malt body in an IPA in the 5.5 coming straight out of something that's quite simple and clean as an IPA, it really does hit you in the... It's really complex, but in the malt body, not so much in the hop profile. It's still quite citrusy. It's got that orange rind kind of finish to it. But the actual body of the beer, the main bulk of the flavour profile is coming from the malt. And to call it a multi-grain kind of... That was the head fuck for me. Coming from a clean IPA to this, it's such a vast difference within the same style.
Similar style, but yeah.
Pete, the Three Ravens IPA is a mixture of Australian and American hops, so it won't be a single.
So it's not a single source. Okay.
Yeah. They don't say which ones, but yeah, it's a mix. Little blend.
That's a great IPA, though. But
Yeah.
then they've made 5.5 a few times, is my understanding. It's not just once for their 5th birthday and once now. They've been making it for a while.
Maybe it's part of their car range.
What's your 3rd beer, Tomo? You fucking knob end.
So good. Oh, that has literally made my week. I am drinking Into the Black by Staves Brewery. It's their oatmeal stout.
Nice.
Yes, Staves. They don't get a lot of love, unfortunately, because it's a
Yeah,
shame.
they
'Cause they
should.
make fucking fantastic beers.
I don't think
They
I've
do.
ever had a Staves brewery.
Oh, Pete, treat yourself. I had the other night as like my end of night beer. I had their Frankie, which is their triple IPA, their 10% triple IPA. It was one of the smoothest high ABV beers I've had in a long time, but it was so piney. It was like eating. It was literally eating pine cones. It was so well done. This is a oatmeal stout, traditional oatmeal stout. It's got really nice chocolate flavors to it. But still nice and dry and roasty. So I think like that kind of chocolate coffee kind of flavors for those playing at home. It's 5.4%. Can out's really cool. It's got a octopus holding a sort of spear trident on it, which you can kind of see in the background there. Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
Don't fuck
I
with
love
octopuses,
black on black
they'll fuck
cans,
you up.
though.
Yeah. Dan, the can is approximately 1.8 millimeters off being lined up. So
I didn't check the Three Ravens.
Don't do
This,
it.
you know, this is our thing now, don't you?
Yeah.
No, it's just become my thing. Yeah.
That's
people
way
point
off.
out-
That's way off. That's at least 2 mil, and it's overlapping. That's just unacceptable.
But as a chocolatey flavor, like quite roasty stout, you could easily sit on this. This is perfect. This is your perfect after dinner beer. Sit there. I don't need dessert. I'll have a can of this. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is
I've
delicious.
actually, So I've done that before. I feel like something sweet. Instead of eating some chocolate or having something horrible for my stomach, I go and eat 300 calories in a fucking beer. But I'll go get a chocolate stout out of the fridge because it kind of satiates the same taste buds. Should we take another break and go grab a fifth beer? Are we all down?
30-second
100%.
break.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Run to the fridge.
30-second cigarette break. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, take a minute.
Have a smoke. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're back yet again. This is a three-parter for a change.
This is great because now you can use both break little tunes that we've got now. Yeah,
true,
you can do it.
true.
This is a test run for this episode.
So and I'm springing this on recording with you guys, but I think when we get together for the first time for an in-person podcast, because it's been a solid 3 months or so, we need to do
4 months almost. Jesus.
We need to do a Saturday or a Sunday. You guys need to get dropped here and picked up because I have now collected 9 limited edition, so 3 trilogy dark beers, Russian stouts, Imperial stouts.
Do you remember the unreleased episode that's still in the bag somewhere? After we got too drunk one time and decided we would do a double episode recording and never released the second episode
because we were so slurry. That's true.
It got very risque.
But nine beers amongst 3 people. Really, we're only drinking.
Sounds like a bloody good time if you ask me.
We're only drinking three Russian Imperial stouts.
I really want to do that trilogy of stouts as well. That the Brick Lane.
I've got 3 now, so I've got the.
What do you mean you have 3 of each?
I have 3 trilogies. No. I've got
say,
that. I've
you
got
had 3
another
cans of
trilogy
each. I was
of
like,
darks
Jesus, that's a
in
lot
a
of
series, and then I've got the 3. I've got the 3 wax sealed bottles, which we won't be able to finish.
This is actually really cool, and this would be a nice little throwback to the guys at Union. We could do because they had to cancel their Dark Knight series. We could do a Dark Knights episode.
Fucking perfect. There you go.
I'd happily do that. Sundays are best for me because I always have Sundays off, and
let's do a Sunday. I'll take the Monday off.
maybe I'll take the Monday off. Oh dear.
Works at me. I've got 90 days of annual leave up my sleeve. I'm in so much shit at work.
Yes, take a holiday, Peter.
And do what? We're in fucking
Play
lockdown
more,
anyway.
play more video games.
So
I guess you can
me
edit
back.
this how you want to edit this.
Oh, I'm going to leave it all in. So, look, we've got a few other trailers, but they're non-trailers.
I had one more point on the Batman, which I can't remember. That did not want to stick to me. Shit, what was it? I fucking thought of it as I was walking back, and then completely forgot about it.
Coffee cup.
No, that's right.
Interrupt me if it comes back to
Riddler with sticky
Yeah.
tape. Fucking dominatrix Riddler.
You know what? This says so much about me. It's not funny. There is only a handful of people in this world that I personally know that I would really love to wrap up in gaffer tape like that, just to shut them the fuck up.
Cool. I was really wondering where you're going with that. I liked where you ended.
Me too.
Yeah, good.
Me too. I was at your Bucks party.
I will admit, the other day, Emma and I went out for coffee and breakfast and stuff, and I was looking at my coffee as they dropped off, my little flat white, and I was like, do I draw a question mark into this, or am I not a creep?
Totally should. I should have. Let's fly through the rest of the trailers, because I got to be honest, most of them are teasers, and they're a bit lame. So we got the Flash.
But they did exactly with the Flash what I told you they needed to fucking do. They needed a Michael Keaton, and they did it. They fucking killed it.
Yep.
That's all they needed to do, and that was good. They could have completely gone with Ezra Miller's wanky intro.
He was fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
It's absolutely him just floating his own
wanker.
boat, man. That movie is not going to be about him. That movie is going to be about everybody seeing Keaton back, and he was trying to steal the fucking limelight.
I was like, can you go fucking fuck yourself?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, Ezra Miller.
I kind of like them. And Ezra Miller has come out as non-binary, so it's they them.
Yes.
I are their
Whatever.
pronouns.
No.
Yeah, they're
No,
whatever.
I'm sorry, but
Whatever his
that
pronouns
wasn't
is.
anything. That intro was nothing to do with that.
That wasn't.
The intro
It's
was
got
just,
nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it was
No,
just...
no, I get that. It doesn't.
You're right, though. I should have
He
said
can
that.
do
It was the-
whatever he wants. It was the arrogance
Yeah.
that oozed while he was talking.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
They're fucked.
I did not like that intro at all.
Yeah.
No,
it really
I-
turned me off the rest of that trailer. Even showing
But
the
I'll
Keaton
still
bit,
watch
but-
the shit out of that movie because I just want to see Keaton as Batman.
I think, yeah.
I want to
as
see
Batman's
Keaton,
dad.
and then I want to see Ben Affleck at the end, where I guarantee they're going to do it, where he gets the letter from his dad.
Yep.
And he at the end of Flashpoint, where he gets the letter from Thomas in the alternate universe. If they don't, that is the
missed-
biggest Warner Brothers missed opportunity. In
Are you
the
talking about Keaton
entire
being
DC
Thomas
history.
Wayne or Keaton being Bruce?
No, Keaton is Thomas Wayne.
Huh?
Is he actually playing Thomas Wayne?
I'm
If
fairly
I,
certain.
if, that's the thing. If I,
No,
if,
no.
if I get red-eyed, dual pistol Batman in that out of Keaton, I will. That's the reason I'm going to watch that movie.
I would
can't
be
have an
I would be
old-
extremely happy about that,
But
but I was thinking
Flashpoint-
Keaton was just playing. Yeah, you continue.
But Flashpoint, the Batman in the universe that he ends up in Flashpoint is actually Thomas Wayne. It's not Bruce
It's the
Wayne.
Flashpoint. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So
And
my
then Martha's the Joker.
I've got to say my only understanding of Keaton in this universe is he is playing the Bruce from the Gotham from the Burton universe, and
Right,
it is
okay.
a single scene pass through
Batfleck's gonna be
universe.
Thomas Wayne. Imagine.
Well, so if I look on IMDb,
Yeah. Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Yeah,
man, they had the
100%.
fucking
Jeffrey
they
Dean
had the
Morgan
Thomas
has to be.
Wayne, and they fucked it.
so Batman in IMDb, Ben Affleck is Batman. Michael Keaton
Yeah.
is Batman.
Yes,
Sasha Calais is Supergirl. Iris West, Nora Allen, blah blah blah.
my only
Tamura Morrison
understanding
is Tom Curry. I didn't know he was in it.
that the Michael Keaton scene is a single scene.
Right.
That'd be disappointing.
It is not the movie. It is a single
That'd
scene.
be
I
disappointing.
don't think so. I think
It's a good throwback.
It's
I mean-
it's a fan throwback. I get it. It's there for the fans.
100%.
Totally understand that. But he would have been perfect as a Thomas Wayne. He's old enough. He's grizzled enough. He's played Batman before. He would have been perfect as the fucking dark ass red eyed Batman.
and there is everybody will completely accept him as Thomas rather than Bruce.
Hell yeah.
He played Bruce.
I'd still rather
This is now-
Jeffrey
this is
Dean
now
Morgan
him as
as
Thomas.
Wayne.
Oh yeah, because then they can build an entire movie around Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
And him as he is just and you cannot tell me that Snyder did not have that in
100% he
mind
did.
when he cast him
God,
as
100%
Jeffrey
he
Dean
did.
Morgan.
Especially when he had the Flash come back through time to warn Bruce. You knew
Yeah.
that was leading
Yeah.
up to those kind of things.
Yeah, and just the beautiful the leathered glove fist grip.
So close.
And Maggie from Walking Dead as
Yeah.
well as Martha, she would have been an amazing Joker.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he 100% had that in his head when
I
he
did
can't
just
show
get
that
my
movie.
mate was I was trying to explain to him the whole Flashpoint thing the other day because he's never watched it, and I was like, man, go find the
It's
fucking
one of the
animated.
best
Go find the animated
animated-
one and watch it because and he watched it. He's like, Batman had guns. This what? I've always wanted it, but I didn't know I wanted it. But then
It's
I did
one of the
want
best
it. Yeah.
DC Universe
100%.
movies.
It is, yeah.
Animated.
It is an absolute classic.
and it's a universe reset.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have a clean slate after this.
Yeah. We got a Black Adam kind of teaser. It wasn't a full-blown trailer.
I actually didn't watch it.
It
was pretty
I
decent.
love Dwayne Johnson, man. I
It
think
was an
he's
angry
a
rock. It was a very
down-to-earth-
angry magic rock. Yeah.
But even the
Very angry.
That's not a good description. I'm sorry about that.
but even the actor is down to earth. He's grounded. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of philanthropy.
Jesus Christ, some of his
Philanthropic sort of stuff.
post-workout things that he shows off, and it's just like, how are you that big?
Yeah.
Can you stop, Dwayne Johnson?
insanity.
Well,
Dwayne
actually,
Johnson,
we should-
please stop. I'm worried about you. Like, calm down.
We might not do it this episode because we'll end up at 17 hours. But Did you guys hear about The Witcher and possibly losing what's a face, the main character,
Henry
It's the
Cavill?
actors. Thank you. Henry Cavill injured himself during the filming of.
You just said what's her face.
I did.
Anyway.
I did. We're in a world where I don't know who's who anymore. So gender is
Anyway,
fluid,
moving on.
but whatevs.
Black Adam. No,
What are we
focusing on DC. Let's not go down the
Sure,
Witcher road.
sure,
we're
sure,
gonna. Yeah, we've got to stop this.
We'll throw a coin to our Witcher some other episode. Fair enough.
Toss a coin, but
Let's throw it at him. Aquaman 2.
just aim right center forehead, throw it at him, bounce it off that fucking big forehead he's got.
When the Witcher. No, I'm not going to sing again. No,
Big
that's
biceps.
the last thing.
So Aquaman Lost Kingdom, Aquaman 2, we got a teaser.
Oh, man, I couldn't
and it was one of those,
flying fuck.
I'm the prime actor and I'm going to talk through the footage of the teaser. Like, fuck off. Just get off stage and let me watch the teaser trailer without you in it.
I don't know. After that first one, which I thought was an absolute fucking schmozzle, that was a clusterfuck. That was a 12-year-old's wet dream.
Well,
Some
I would
bad
almost say that
de-aging.
the Rock's
Some bad de-aging.
The Rock's too big to play Black Adam.
You've
these
said that
days.
before, and I don't disagree, but I think the actor being so into the character will make it work.
Oh,
Because he's a mad fan.
He's either going to live and breathe that character to the point where it really works, or he's going to do it to the point where he perfects it too much.
Overdoes it.
Yeah. Oh, and he like ruins it for himself. But I trust The Rock. I love
the
The Rock
trailer
as an
looks.
actor.
The
Dwayne Johnson
trailer
is-
for
yeah.
Black Adam looks sick, and all of the Egyptian mythos and culture behind it.
Yeah.
Driven into the character. I love Egyptian culture. I always have. Like the ancient Egypt. I've always had an affinity towards it.
Yeah.
So seeing that come to life in a modern day character that isn't as poxy as the Mummy, remade 17 times.
Hey, don't shit on the 1999 Mummy. That is one of the greatest.
Not
films
shitting
of
on the
all time.
original, but the remake was
Oh, the Tom
tragically
Cruise one.
bad.
Oh no,
Like what the fuck? That was just bad.
The characters in the Mummy are pretty much responsible for my sexual awakening. That paint costume.
Not really sure what to make of that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Dan understands.
Yep. Yep.
I get it too.
Pete understands.
Yep.
Everyone
so-
understands.
I'm looking.
Nefertiti.
Yeah.
Don't say her name. Is that helicopter?
You know,
back?
I'm actually surprised because we've talked about characters that have been so buried in their. Sorry, we've talked about actors that have been so big a fan that even if they don't quite fit the mold of the character they're playing, because they're such a mad fan for the original IP, they've made it work. The one actor I'm surprised we haven't seen in the MCU so far, the extended universe or the DC universe, is Vin Diesel. Because he's a fucking, huge nerd.
And I am Groot.
As the actor, not as a voice. I get what you're saying. You're right. He's been in the extended MCU, but as an actor playing a core character, I'm actually surprised Vin Diesel hasn't made.
I'm kind of glad he
So
isn't
managed
because
to
I
make Wayne.
fucking love the Riddick movies and I will watch them. I love
Yeah,
them. I love
so
them.
do
But
I.
I like that he.
100%.
I like that he's
Are they
not
Vertigo?
there because,
Except for
Vertigo.
Or are they mad? No? Because it was a graphic novel series, but it wasn't a core.
no, it wasn't. It was original IP.
No, it wasn't.
Pitch Black was original IP.
You guys look it up.
Pitch Black was original IP.
Peter, you've got
It
17
was
screen.
a
Come on.
low budget Aussie made movie.
I know it was
Pitch
it was
Black.
filmed in Australia. It wasn't an Aussie made. It was
Pitch Black.
was filmed in Australia.
I'm really waiting for the day
it was
where
a Hollywood
because Pete's
movie.
got like 17 screens now for those playing at home that he gets to do the Tony Stark and like throw things up onto the top
he
thing.
gets the,
I'm
but
really
the
waiting
thing
for that
is, he gets-
because in the mirror in the back, it's going to look so sick. It's going to be like Pete just
he's got
throwing things
that
to various
fake-
screens. Yeah,
Just
He's got that fake look now of going, oh, is it? But he's not. He's looking at that fucking third screen where he's fucking Googling
busted.
shit. And it's like, it makes him look smart. He's like, is it? It's like tapping that part of his brain. It's like, is it?
I know
Is
that
it?
they
Is
wrote
it?
they wrote a bunch of Riddick books. I don't.
We can still see you typing
no,
one
that
hand.
was
When you
after.
stroke your beard, we can still see you typing one hand.
No,
You've got a mirror behind you.
That's a mouse. No, I was under the impression that they wrote the books first and then built the movies around the books. But
No.
that's cool. And I knew it was filmed in Australia, and it's a fucking magic movie. And it's offbeat in a way that you can tell that it's an indie movie.
Ooh,
Pitch Black was a low-budget indie movie.
Yeah, 100%. And they're the best types of
Origin
sci-fi.
points for that kind of
Exactly.
that IP.
And I mean, it's
That said,
it's-
the
that's
last
where you get
Riddick
that
movie where it's
beautiful
got
creative.
more money behind it, I fucking love that.
I loved all of the Riddick films. All
Yeah.
of them. And
No,
that's
so
not
I
a
didn't
popular...
like Riddick.
Especially when Carl Urban came into it. Oh, I love Carl Urban.
Oh, well, that's Chronicles of Riddick. That's the second one.
Yeah,
I
but
like,
he
I
came
like
into
the fact
third
they
one as
brought the
well.
actress back who was a kid
As
in
in
the
the
first
third one.
movie.
Yeah.
And she talks about shining her eyes for a packet of fucking Mentos. And it was such a great callback to the original movie and just a little moment in that movie.
Menthols, cigarettes, but yeah,
Menthols, yeah.
sure.
Mentos.
What did I say?
better.
Mentos?
Mentos fresh and full
Yes.
of life.
But that's not how he got his shiny eyes. Do you know how he got his shiny eyes?
Golden Valley Gold.
Very gold. Did you ever play
I
Escape
did.
from Butcher Bay?
I did, actually.
Yeah.
And he does get
That's
his
how he
eyes
got his
shiny.
shiny eyes.
But I
Yeah,
don't
he
remember
his
how he
shiny
got
eyes.
it.
We got it from a voodoo man in the depths of Butcher Bay.
In the prison.
Yeah, in the prison.
You were born in the dark. You merely
I
accepted
don't-
it.
I
That
don't
was a
remember
very
the
guttural
scene
laugh
in-
for that little throwaway comment.
I don't remember the scene
That really,
in the game,
that really
but I
hit
remember
Dan in
it
a
being in
special
the game.
spot, just throwing out a Bane quote for Riddick. Yes, imagine if those two fought together.
Yeah,
Gotta do
exactly.
the hands over the face, though. It's a.
You were merely born in the darkness. I accepted it, molded by it.
You do that well.
Yeah, we're going to spend a weekend doing voiceovers, I think, for the
Yeah,
podcast.
okay,
Shazam 2, a bit yawny about that, to be honest.
I like the new
As a trailer.
costumes. I like the changes, the update
Yes,
to the
they-
Shazam
and they
costumes.
talked
I thought
about the
they
upgrade.
they looked more natural. Looked more.
They looked more Superman. With
Yes,
all
yeah,
the,
yeah, 100%,
the
yeah.
miniaturized S's in.
Yep, yeah,
Because
you're
that
right,
was the
Pete.
first time in a movie I've noticed that the material science behind the costumes had been upgraded to a point where they could build.
Also, Zachary
it's a
Levi
meta.
looked naturally bigger, which
He's
I'm sure
a
he
big
was.
unit now, man.
Yeah, he's definitely worked out for it. But in that first one, you could definitely tell there were a couple of
It was
balloons
a
chucked
muscle
in.
suit.
Puff
Yeah,
suit.
fuck
Yeah.
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 But the second movie, and you see him in a t-shirt talking on the DC.
Yeah.
What's it called? The fucking
Fan
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 Disappointment Dome. I'm
Yeah.
coining that.
Fan disappointment.
Fan Disappointment Dome.
Yeah.
There's a,
But
there's a,
when
there's
you
a
see him talking,
subtitles for you.
he's stacked now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peacemaker.
But the thing is, he has to be, because if he went up against Black Adam, The Rock,
Which is ultimately where it's got to
It's
go.
like- where he is going to be wearing a skin tight suit, so they don't make him look any bigger than he already is.
No, The Rock's just
I
going to
guess
be
that's
painted.
exactly
He's
what-
going to be painted. He's just going to be
Yeah, it's
spray
gonna be
painted
painted.
on.
Airbrushed. You keep it as thin as
Yeah,
possible.
100%.
If they
Maybe
if
wearing
they
one of
did
those
that, and
Borat
he,
G-strings.
The
if he didn't
Mankini.
have some
Yeah, just
natural
to keep everything
bulk to him,
intact.
Yeah, he
and
wouldn't
was
stand up on
just
stage.
wearing a bubble
Yeah.
suit. Yeah, it would
Totally agree.
It would,
100%
on
not.
screen, it would look like a foam man.
I
up
think the
against
only thing
a
I
a Colossus.
a mountain of
Yeah.
a man.
I
Yeah.
really liked the Injustice Shazam costume. I thought it was a bit more like with the hood and like the big
That's
was a
the new
white
DC
hood.
costume.
That was a
the
white
white
hood
hood on the red
black.
costume.
Really?
Yeah, I really like that in the games. So
Because it's a direct rip-off of Black Adam's costume. Because Black
yeah,
Adam had
yeah. But I think that's why, like, as
bodysuit
those
with a white
kind of
hood.
polarizing characters, I thought that was good. I think the second
I think-
Shazam costumes moved a little bit away from that. Like, I didn't see as much of that like hooded white cape. I saw the white cape, but not as much of
Yeah.
that, which I thought was
I
a
just-
really cool aspect of the character costume.
I'm worried. Like, I'm worried about hating Shazam 2 because the original movie, and we did talk about this on the podcast like 2 years ago now. I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, he looks much better.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
I haven't looked at the Shazam 2. Yeah, that looks much better.
And the rest of
I
the,
really
and the rest of
enjoyed the
cast
original
are
Shazam
buffed,
movie
yeah.
right up until the Captain Planet fucking Power Rangers moment right at the end. And
Oh
that
no, I
fucked
loved
for
it.
me.
I loved it. all the way up there. I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was
As
over
someone
the
who's
top.
someone who's
Power
never
Rangers.
read a Shazam,
Just waiting for
comic,
Voltron to climb out.
I get where Pete's coming from, because I've never read a Shazam comic in my life, but I got what they were trying to do, and I understood the whole family thing behind it. But I also get where Pete's coming from. It was like, okay, suddenly you can do that, sure.
Yeah, and there's 4 more dudes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We've been watching one character for the whole movie, and now there's 4 other Shazam.
It was a bit shoehorned
It's
in.
my
I
fam.
would have rather that been saved for a second movie, being like, now I can form the family. Like, that would have been a better thing. Yeah.
Build up to it.
Have the
It's
solo movie and then
foster
and then,
family,
yeah, and then build in the
and-
rest
yeah.
of the foster family. Yeah, 100%.
I just felt that it was just a bit cheap and tacky. I'm hoping Shazam 2 is better. Peacemaker, I'm actually...
So hold on. Before you go any further, I want to just talk about Shazam's. You're talking about the hood and the
red and
hood
white
and
versus
the
black and white?
the red and white. So Shazam's always been red and white.
Yeah.
But various lengths of the cape. So if you actually look at Shazam or
just share your screen, bro.
Captain Marvel. Oh, I can, but I didn't have it up.
2 buttons away.
I'm looking at the new.
I don't want to know about your
52
sex
Shazam.
life. Just show me the fucking...
New 52. His New 52 costume. No, it's actually longer than I remember it. But it's. Let me find. No. Oh, okay. It's actually longer than I remember it. There was some Shazam stuff that was in the back of a couple of Superman. Here's one that was in the back of a. So they when they did the New 52, they had the major character comics, so Superman, Detective, Batman, action comics, and then in the back of them they were reintroducing some of the minor characters.
Yep.
So the back of the Superman comics was a 5 or 6 page Shazam.
I love the art style, by the way, for the New 52.
So you
Comics.
see this, which
Oh,
is
look, we're
the.
both- Hang on.
Yeah.
Everyone
So-
share a screen.
So this is the much shorter cape, where it only sort of comes to his butt level, but that's also a hood that goes over his head.
Yep.
So it's
Billy Batson...
it's a cloak more than a
That's
cape.
right,
Cape.
and Billy Batson often had that cloak over his head. It wasn't just for looks when it was back; it was actually functional. So, to me, this is the Shazam, and I will throw it up on YouTube for those that watch. This is the Shazam that I kind of recognise.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not loading.
But
it.
even that's much more of a traditional,
Yes.
not traditional, modern. No, it's modern Shazam.
Well,
than
that's a new
traditional.
52 Shazam.
I think my
Yeah,
interest in
but that's-
Shazam was always in the. It was the new 52 look from the DC animated stuff, and he had the hood on for the most part.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, my introduction, the first time I ever saw Shazam was DC Universe Online. He was a pretty decently large character in that series, as was Black Adam.
Yeah.
Black Adam was the bad guy, Shazam was the good guy. You kind of interacted as the hero to go in and defeat Black Adam with Shazam's help. And you met a lot of the supporting cast in the Shazam comic books. Other disappointing series? Actually,
Do we talk about our 5th beers here?
no,
yet.
not yet.
Before we.
Not yet.
We should.
Yeah, well, let's do that before we go to the rest of the disappointment that is the DC fan disappointment.
Sure. What are you drinking, Dan?
I've got another little bang. Got an
I've
oat
got that in
cream
my fridge.
IPA. Yeah, it's
What's it called?
it's the Colorado Weed Money. Which is obviously a call to Colorado being legalized weed.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice art, like super simple, almost House of the Rising Sun Japanese art. Well, I know House of the Rising Sun isn't Japanese. It's
One of my
Very
favorite
American,
covers of
completely
House of the
different. It's
Rising
the animals,
Sun was
but-
from the Wolfenstein game, where they had a German Oompa band play it.
oh fuck! I'm gonna have to
It's
listen.
on.
to
You
that.
can't get it on Spotify. It's on YouTube only, but treat yourself.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
beautiful can
of
art.
New Orleans.
The beer's really nice and flavoursome. It's got a really nice oaty character flavour to it. It's got a really good fruit content to the hop character, those tropical fruit, those pineapples, little bit of piney resinous sort of character in the background, but sort of those tropical fruits really hit you up front. It's thinner, once again, same as the last one, a little bit thinner than I would have liked to have seen in an oat cream. Really sort of utilise those oats, those oat proteins. And oat cream is also, in my understanding, a lactose addition. It's the new word for the milkshake IPAs.
Yes, it is.
And it's just not as rounded body wise as I would like. But it is a very well constructed, flavoursome hop hazy pale.
Cool.
Did I throw enough descriptors in there?
You did. I wasn't giving you shit, and I think the feedback was...
No, I'm not. That was more of a general...
A shot off the...
Critique of my inability to articulate things at times.
Shot off the port bow. I'm going to go second, because Tom looks a little confused, and I saw him... He's only taken one sip of his fifth beer, so...
I have not. I've almost drunk half of it. I've
That
recharged
glass
my
looked
glass.
full.
I've recharged my glass.
I see. Well, I'm
Like
still
the
gonna
charge
go.
of the light brigade, sir. Right down the
Hawkers.
fifth flank.
Hawker's Double West Coast IPA.
Ooh, very nice.
It
pizza.
is really fucking good for a 9%. Right? It's a
Good night,
it's a, no. Well, I got
See
a
ya,
back
champ.
up. I got a
Catch you in
back
the
up just in
morning.
case I needed a sixth beer tonight. I got a Big Shed Raspberry Imperial Sour at 7%, but I thought I'd go with this.
Yeah, we are definitely
Signing off,
at that
Captain
stage.
Stubin. This imperialised expression of our well-known and dearly beloved West Coast IPA has been amped up to 9%, taking us one step closer to our dream of a utopian beerscape with the clouds of froth, it rains IPA, and the trees are giant hops. It's got a 5 on the hop scale, 2 on the malt scale, and 1 on the yeast scale. Really not a bitter beer at all. And I've got to say, it does
Really?
not taste...
Because the Hawker's West Coast by itself is bitter as fuck.
Double West Coast should be like 75 IBUs.
Yeah,
It doesn't have an IBU rating on it, but
Maybe
I-
it's just smooth. Like it could be from the malt, like being smooth as shit. But I know the Hawker's West Coast in a beautiful way is so bitter and piney and all of those like dank characteristics that we just talked about.
Listen, it's dank as fuck. There's no question about that. There is a lot of orange rind as opposed to peel and juice. It is still quite juicy for a West Coast, to be honest. But there is no hint of it being a 9%. There's no burn. There's no aftertaste.
They sneak up on you.
It's an IPA. It really is just an IPA.
That's one of those annoying IPAs
Really
where
impressed.
those doubles where you drink it and you go, yeah, this is fine. And all of a sudden you feel like the punch in your back of your head. You go, okay, good night. And I'm out. Yeah.
That's what happens when I drink bloody Garage Project Boss level. It's
Remember
only
when you
like-
had that as your
it's
starting
7%.
beer and we were all just like,
Yeah.
okay, Dan, are you
Dan.
okay? Do you need to talk about something?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
how is
7%,
your day?
but it's a 440 can.
Yeah.
I love that beer. It is
Boss level,
absolutely hands
100%.
down
It's one
my
of the-
favourite
yeah.
West Coast. Yeah.
I am drinking the Mountain Culture Oat Cream IPA Betamax, which really has a soft spot in my heart. Firstly, and this is on the back of the can. Firstly, if you do not know what a Betamax is, please put this down. And you should. You know what? Fuck off. If you don't know what a Betamax is...
So you've got to be at least 30?
No, you got to be older than that.
But Tom's pretty young.
No. My nan had one when I was...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm 33.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Nan had one.
borderline, but yeah.
I fondly remember being at my Nan's house when we got dropped off there. Nan would make sausages, mashed potatoes, peas and carrots, and we would sit down and we would watch Sooty on the Betamax.
Which we talked about last step.
As we spoke about.
God rest in peace, Nan. But so this is...
You know,
brewed with-
Superior.
Did we sing the song? Is that the song that never ends?
No, that was
did we
lamb
sing
chops.
that?
That's not sooty.
That wasn't Sooty.
That was lamb chops.
That was
play
lamb chop,
along,
yeah.
where kids come to play along and fun things. All we ever do. This is the lamb chops play along.
No. We had one of the sooty hand puppets as well. We used to play with, and you'd just be like this because that was the only way you could work the hand puppet.
I had that. That was the Catholic church that I used to go to. Sorry, carry on.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Back in the good old days for the priest.
Totally kind of different sock puppet.
Oh, dirty bastards. Anyway, so for the rest of us, if you still have a pulse, there is a very good chance you will love this. This is brewed with
switched us off.
Switching back to the brew. This is brewed with generous additions of Yakima Chief's latest hop blend Cryo Pop. This oak cream IPA has bold flavours of stone fruit and citrus with coconut overtones. And that's literally, it tastes like one of those Weiss bars. It's like a melted down Weiss bar.
Is it a dark beer? What's the style? Sorry,
it's a hazy IPA, sorry. So look at it. Hazy.
Typically, yeah, okay. So coconut in a NEIPA or a dark are the only two places I would typically see, expect to see coconut.
Mountain Culture did a porter with Sabro, which is a particularly coconutty hop. And I remember it tasted like Jägermeister, and I wanted to hurt myself in ways I shouldn't. Really didn't like that beer. And I let DJ know. I sent him an email.
I was there for the Jaeger bomb movement. That was... I'll tell you what.
That was good. Well,
it was a horrible drink, but geez, you got laid a lot. Just saying.
Speak for yourself. Anyway, these guys use their house hazy yeast strain to really, and they've crossed out and said they've crossed out beta to max out on the tropical aroma, and then pulled it all together with a soft, creamy mouthfeel. It does contain lactose, but yeah, it's hoppy melted down Weiss bar, so that coconut creamy taste coming through.
So interesting story, and we've seen history repeat itself a couple of times. And HD DVD versus Blu-ray is a second example that I can cite. But do you know why Betamax lost to VHS?
Porn.
Yeah, there's something about that.
Porn stars.
Everybody knows that, Pete.
Well,
I hate to burst your bubble there.
Blu-ray was the same. It was a HD DVD, and Betamax were both superior technologies that lost out because of porn. Porn industry backed one. They won.
You'd like to see how that plays out these days with everything online.
The internet wins.
That's why the NBN was invented.
No, that was just to make a bunch of fucking rich MPs even richer. That's all it was invented for. It was fucking... Peacemaker TV series. I didn't rate Peacemaker as a character in the movie.
I still haven't seen the fucking thingy.
It's fun as shit, man. It's really
What's it
good
on?
movie.
What's it on? You have to have HBO Max, don't you?
We bought it on
HBO Max.
the Google Play Store.
Oh, I'm not.
I might have paid for it on iTunes Plus then, or Apple TV or whatever it is.
I'm going to wait.
Hang on.
It's on
I don't know if I paid for it though. Let me just double check on
Do you
Just
have
Watch,
the
which is a fantastic
Apple
app.
Plus thingy? Because I only have Apple.
I do have an Apple Plus thingy that came
the
free
regular
with
Apple TV. Been watching Ted Lasso. That's fucking wholesome as fuck.
It's available on Apple TV or Amazon Prime.
Oh, maybe it's on Apple. Okay. Well, if it's on Apple TV,
no, sorry. It's $30 on Amazon Prime and it's $25 on Apple TV.
Well, it can go fuck itself
So
then.
I would have bought it.
Yeah.
And Dan's apparently gone for a piss.
Dan hated it so much he walked out.
But I didn't rate Peacemaker in the movie. He was a bit of a cardboard cutout character. But
is he just a John? Is he just a John Cena like mirror for John Cena to play himself to himself? Yeah,
pretty much.
See, that entertains me because I find him entertaining.
He was funny in Suicide Squad, but he was a pop out character. There was no substance to him at all.
Yeah.
And they didn't develop the character. There was no backstory. It was just hey, every time I thrust my hip, someone dies kind of character. And that's exactly what you literally saw in the trailer for the Peacemaker TV series. And yet, whilst I didn't rate him in the movie, I actually think the trailer for the TV series looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seems like it's one of those characters.
Can't
more
take it
suited-
seriously.
You're not meant to take it seriously, but it's meant to be more suited to
It's
that.
larger than life.
Yeah, it's that TV.
We're just
it's
fucking
that,
around and having some
he
fun.
He needs that TV thing to really.
It's the
Make
DC
him-
universe version of The Boys. That's what I reckon Peacemaker is.
Yeah, cool. No, I get that.
Like, just doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Yep.
And then we have the Last of Us TV series, which I added after the fact.
Well, we've only seen a couple of screenshots of that one. But Pedro,
So maybe we'll
Pedro
just
Pascal
skip
is
that.
playing Joel.
I think it's perfectly cast for the two main characters. I think Pedro is perfect for... Can't remember his name.
Joel.
Joel.
Thank you. You did actually already say that.
Just literally.
It's that 9% kicking in that I can't taste. Yeah.
And the girl playing Ellie is
Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey, who was in Game of Thrones, who played the young Queen of Bears.
I don't know how I feel because you guys didn't watch Game of Thrones, did you?
I did.
I
watched
know
all of
Dan
it.
didn't.
I watched all of it. Right up to
Okay.
the bitter end, the bitter, disappointing end.
The disappointing last season.
No, but she was fucking cool. She was sick.
Yes, she was, but I don't know how I feel about her as an actress carrying off the character she's playing in The Last of Us.
No.
It's a big part.
I can definitely see it. Ellie is a smart talking little. Well, a young female.
She's a complex character.
But she hides behind that smart talking personality all throughout the first
True.
game. And
Maybe
I can see that from Bella Ramsey in the way she played that character in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Can I make a very controversial comment right here?
You can
Yeah,
go
because
nuts.
we've never been controversial before, Dan.
You can do
Well,
whatever
I
you
guess it's
like.
not really It's only controversial within the fan basis of. Would it not be better to have run a cast Pedro Pascal, cast Bella Ramsey as Ellie, like do that, but run a parallel story of other characters rather than the Joel and Ellie story again? The Joel and Ellie story has already been told to perfection.
I think it's that thing where they only.
There's still a lot of people that don't
Yeah,
play video
I
games.
agree where you're coming from,
But-
but I think they're thinking that people are only going to latch onto the series because of their love of the games. Because Last of Us 2 was very polarizing for the fan base because a lot of people didn't like the story.
You're right.
I think those people are idiots, and I'll say it right here because I thought that story was just as good as Last of Us 1.
And
If
that's
not-
where
if
I'm
not,
going
it-
with Bella.
yeah.
Like, so as an actress, I can see her playing Ellie in the first game, but the second game, fuck me, the complexity of that character, the
I mean,
discovering her sexuality,
there's also a good
dealing with her.
couple of years between those
but
two. Like,
I
in terms
just
of the
I don't know
games.
if I can. Yes, but if the first movie is going to be successful, they'll make the second, right? And I don't know if
TV series.
Sorry,
TV series,
series.
not movie.
I just don't know if I see that actress
they're only
being
saying
able to
6
pull off
episodes.
the complexity.
They're saying 6 episodes. I don't think you can tell the entire story of The Last of Us 1 in 6 episodes.
No, you definitely can't.
So they
You
need to
definitely
spread. They're
can't.
going to spread that over seasons, I think.
And so she'll be 20 by the time she plays the
Yeah.
second game.
Yeah.
If they're still going. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How old is she, actually? It's an interesting story.
I don't know. I know we just talked about it early on and not... well, no, actually, you know what? Fuck it. No, I'm going back on this fucking Uncharted
she's
shit as
18.
well.
She was born in 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with going back to the Uncharted stuff as well, I mean, if you're going to make a remake, or if you're going to make the exact same story of the game, you make it start to finish of the storyline of that game.
Yep.
There's 4 games. They're excellent stories. They all have different purposes and character developments within those 3 games. You could condense that down into a 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie with
Yep.
losing a little bit, but I mean, you're not
Disagree.
getting people fucking around.
I don't think you
trying
can
to
put The Last of Us into a 2-3 hour movie.
A movie.
No. This is exactly where I'm getting. So I'm talking about the Uncharted games. So the Uncharted, you can condense one of those games down into a 3 hour movie, 2.5
The first
hour,
game's
3
only
hour
like 12
movie.
hours of gameplay when you really break it down.
Yeah, and you're fucking around and doing shit for half of it. So what is a 10-minute combat scene in a game is
like
a 30-second shootout in a fucking movie. So you can condense that stuff down and talk about the same storyline within that movie. If you're talking about something like The Last of Us, which is a very slow burn character development game over hours, you're going to do that over a TV series. My opinion, and this is just my opinion, and you guys have already shot this down, is do this as an opposing story that has Joel and Ellie elements in it, not a Joel and Ellie story.
See, I get what you're saying. I think it should be the TV show. Like, I think the game's popular enough that most people have played it. But I think the TV show should exist.
We're going to have to wrap soon because you just said TV show.
You've been slurring for the last 45 minutes, so shut your fucking face.
With those big black bags under your eyes, Peter.
And there's that black wax dripping from your comb over as well, mate. You might want to wipe that away.
I did notice the bags. Fuck you.
If you remember playing Last of Us 1, there are those gaps in the story. I think that's where the show should exist.
If that's what they're going to do, I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
There's pretty significant gaps in that gameplay.
Yeah.
Where you jump months at a time, and that's perfect like place to put that video game.
But I also think
what a TV show.
But I also think that sorry to cut you off, Dan. I also think the core storyline in the first Last of Us, the dynamic between
now.
Fuck yourself. I think the dynamic between Ellie and Joel is compelling storytelling that they can capture effectively on TV. I think that they're set in an interesting post-apocalyptic universe that is similar enough to a lot of the stuff we've already seen, so it meets expectations, but it's also different enough to make it interesting.
Also, I think what was that movie we talked about recently where it's
it was a zombie game that didn't have any zombies in it.
Was something zombie where they showed it in the opening credits?
Oh, I should have saved that beer.
What was that?
Oh, that's a shame.
We were talking about something we watched, and it was in the opening credits, and they flashed like
Army of the Dead.
Yeah. Like that's what they need to do for the whole zombie story. You don't need to go into the zombie story for Last of Us. It's all about the character development. You can do the whole.
But that's how they played out the game, right? It never did the expose of holy fuck that. Well, it did, and actually, I'm just thinking the intro sequence where everybody fucking cries in that cutscene because that's what. Like the first 10 minutes of the game is a cutscene, was going to be.
It's a heart-wrenching game, yeah.
But that was expose of the apocalypse at the start of the apocalypse.
Made it personal.
I don't know why I have such a dislike of retelling Joel and Ellie's story when I have such a hey.
But you love Dune.
Just give us.
Let every Tom, Dick, and Harry tell the Batman story.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, whenever there's dozens and hundreds of Batman stories.
I get you.
But once again, do not tell us the fucking origin story of Batman. And this is actually, that goes back to what I wanted to fucking, that was my last Batman point. Don't give me a fucking origin story again.
No.
Give me him fucking 3 years in. 10 years in. Don't give us the fucking origin story.
We're over him.
That's why you're getting him 2 years in, because it's
Batman,
not quite an origin story, but he's not quite developed.
Fuck off. 100%, half of that movie is going to be a fucking origin story.
I agree 100%.
With Dan. Goddamn guaranteed.
Let's.
But this is like I need to make this point.
Okay.
I don't know what my point is because
Fantastic.
I don't know why I don't know why I dislike. I think.
It was such a personal journey. I think that's the whole thing. It's just like it hit everyone differently. It didn't matter how you played the game. It hit you in a different way when you got those kind of story moments.
Beats.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And finishing it off and whatever mode you played The Last of Us in affected you
never again.
Mm-hmm.
Grounded. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly it. And I completely agree. Grounded is the way you need. Grounded is the way you need to play it. Is hands down, it is the only mode that should exist for that game.
Go fuck yourself.
No,
I think it should. I made that argument a few episodes ago. I miss fucking ridiculously hard games.
Yeah, you did say that. Yes, I
Everything
But I
is just
just-
handed to us. You can play
Pete,
it.
your attachment to that story that went through your emotional journey through that story and playing that game. What is it going to be just looking at things on screen where
Well, it was the tension of those encounters that added to the story of the game.
Exactly, and Uncharted is different. Uncharted is a run and gun. It is an action movie. It is hands down just a popcorn. It's a popcorn game.
100% a popcorn game.
movie.
That is the best way to describe it.
Whichever way you want to put
The
it.
difference between any game and any TV series or movie based on a game is when you're playing a game and it's exposing the story to you as you play, you're associating context of your
put yourself
current
into it.
life.
Yeah.
Of your current life at that moment, right? So if you've just broken up or you've just met a girl, you'll have a totally different experience of a video game, even though it's the same game. When you're watching a TV show or a movie, it's actually the director's perspective of the emotional content of that story, not your own anymore.
I disagree with that
No,
because
I agree.
the
I agree with
directors
Pete
of
on
the
this one.
games do exactly the same thing.
No, I agree with Pete's one. Because I'm struggling to watch TV shows at the moment. Like, Pete's been trying to get me to watch Foundation. I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm watching really light-hearted, really easy TV at the moment. I can't invest in that, but I'm heavily invested in deep video games because I know maybe that's a kind of thing of lockdown of not really seeing people. I need
it is
that.
affecting
but
people.
it's also you're in control of that video game.
Yeah, but I can't switch on for those TV shows. I've tried to watch the first episode of Foundation like 4 times. I don't know why, but I can't get through it. But
I don't connect memories to the time that I don't look at a TV series episode
Pete.
and go
This is-
back to I remember where I was in the world at that
Yep.
time and how I was feeling and what was going on in my life. But video games,
I
absolutely
100% do. I 100% do. I could tell you the exact episode of a certain show that we mentioned
Stargate?
earlier on.
or Battlestar Galactica
Exactly.
that you met your
where-
wife.
Exactly.
I know that
the,
story,
The exact
so.
episode that where we were talking to each other. So I 110% disagree with that conversation. And the emotion that was going through characters within that TV show at the time
Kind of
were
aligned
similar,
well
similar
for-
things. Similar things. So I completely disagree with that.
But
But
I
you-
counteract you with that. Had you had a video game like The Last of Us at that time, would you associate it with that as well?
Well,
yeah. See,
I
because that's the thing.
mean,
For me,
things-
that's where most of my most recent foundational memories are coming through in terms of the games I'm playing because that's what I'm focusing on. Yeah.
I just find, and this is a little bit meta, and we've gone very meta, and we'll probably wrap the episode on this kind of area of topics.
pull the pin. It says an hour 33, so you've got 2 minutes to wrap up.
No, we're at 2 hours
let's
and
call it
40.
30, 35?
We're at 2 and 3/4 hours. What I was going to say is, I find with a TV series, you tend to be a bit of a passenger, whereas with a video game, you're driving.
Yeah.
And the emotional content that you attach to shit aligns pretty well most of the time with that. With a TV series, you're a bit of a passenger. You don't really associate your life's emotions to the show
I agree with
as
Pete.
much as you are actively participating in driving the story forward with your hands. And so you tend to attach more of your life's emotions of what's going on in that act. Now, it's
So
not
you have
100%
no-
true on either end of the spectrum.
The Last of Us, you have no control about where the story goes. It is a linear game.
but you are still-
have
you make
control
your
over
way
how,
through
but you're still
levels.
invested in those fights. You're invested in those fight scenes.
You're still driving
I'm
it forward
not saying
with
you're
your
not
fingers.
invested in them, but yeah.
You can't be a complete passenger. I can put an episode of a TV series
I know
on,
where Pete's coming
walk
from, and
out of
I
the
agree with Pete on this
room
one, yeah.
and come back, and the same amount of time will have passed, and the show will be at exactly the same point. Whereas with a video game, if I'm not there investing in it, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
The story might play out the same way for you as it does for me, playing the same video game, but the pace and what else is going on in the world and whether or not I take a break to pat the fucking cats and you go and play with the dogs, there's a different experience than just putting on a TV series
That's
and just
how quickly you slam through that video game experience as opposed to a TV show. You're set at a certain pace for that TV show. With a certain video game, you can smash spend 18 hours in a row playing, say
It
Guardians.
is fundamentally
or
more
you can spread it out
interactive.
over a week and a half or whatever.
It's fundamentally
Yeah,
more
I-
interactive, and I think
I definitely don't disagree with certain types of games, but it really comes down to, and I have to pull this back to where we were, The Last of Us. The Last of Us is linear levels.
Yep.
Yes.
For lack of a better term. There is no external exploring. There is potentially different paths and different ways you can attack things if you... See, I haven't played Last of Us. If you keep attacking a certain thing, it's the definition of madness. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Yep.
If you keep attacking the level in the same way, you're not going to get a different result. Last of Us 1, not 2. Can't speak for 2.
No, pretty same in Last of Us. Yeah.
Okay, so that's my only thing. If you're talking about something like Days Gone, where you're going for a horde
Very
and the horde
different
keeps
game.
kicking your ass, and you want to just fucking chill out and jump on your bike and go and kick down
Go for a
some
ride.
fucking
You're-
anarchist
You're
cons
never going to accept
and
this
shit like
challenge,
that.
Dan. But I've been thinking about you a lot lately when it comes to Days Gone, because
Ooh, isn't that nice?
you are one person who has bitched on this
don't think about
podcast
me.
several times about the synth. I caught all of that, Tom. You are one person who has bitched several times about the unrealism of the HUD ruining the experience for a video game.
I think the Days Gone HUD is excellent. I think that is absolutely minimalist stuff that needs to be on the board.
It's not absolutely minimalist. I am tempted to challenge you to go and play survival mode where there is no HUD. There is no HUD at all. There's no mini-map. There's no how many bullets are in my gun. There's no fast travel. You literally have to memorize the fucking road in the game to figure out where the fuck
That'd be
you
fucking
are
cool.
and where you're going.
I reckon Dan will do that.
Yeah.
I have faith in Dan doing
Yeah,
that.
so absolutely that doesn't bother me. I mean,
I'm seriously
The Witcher had
considering
the same thing you could do. You could absolutely turn everything off. GTA 5 had the same
But you
thing.
could turn it
And-
back on with a lot of those games. GTA 5, you could turn it back on. Witcher 3, you could turn it back on.
So I have absolutely no. With Days Gone, I know that world quite well, and I could.
Do you
There's
feel like
lots of areas
Dan, do you
security.
feel like you could go to Seattle and maybe drive around a bit? Do you have that kind of feeling?
I guess potentially.
No, because I had that kind of feeling after I driving back across those roads, and we are talking about not using fast travel.
Doing it so many times, yeah.
Well, I did it so many times. I was like, I know where to get to that place. You take a left here, and you go straight there, and you go
Yeah.
out for 500 yards, then you go left.
between the camps, between the major
100%.
Yeah. Between the camps and between the major landmarks in Days Gone, yes. But go out to this Marauder camp, no mini-map, no fast travel, no dotted path along the way. I actually think that would be a serious challenge.
Oh, okay. So you say that. So this is
excited now.
completely divergent.
This will probably take us away, to be honest.
Okay, so I will
you're
talk
not
about
gonna
this
wrap on
at
my
a
feelings.
future
That's
date. I will. I will take this away at a future time and talk about this more.
Settle down,
what
Flashpoint.
My extra contribution to this was the sinking city.
yes.
So what you're talking about here, Pete, is exactly what the sinking city is. So you get
Is that one of is that one of the Man of
The
Medan,
fuck is the sinking city?
Man of Medan games? No.
No. The Sinking City is a Lovecraftian. So there was a game a few years ago that was
We're
called
going to
Call of
challenge each other
Cthulhu,
to play games
which was
because it's going to get fucked up.
no, because it's going to get way worse. So there was a game called Call of Cthulhu.
Yes.
So the Sinking City is exactly what it is. Actually, the game that they were building to be the Lovecraft Call of Cthulhu game. Okay, so the Frogwares who did the original Syndicate.
Bullfrog.
They
Did the
Bullfrog. Is it Bullfrog?
Yes.
No, this is Frogwares.
I remember you talking about this
Bullfrogs
game.
definitely did the original
It's all
Syndicate.
it's all just clicked into place. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so the Sinking City is a Lovecraftian world in a Maine-based, East Coast-based American sinking city. So there is an unnatural flood that has happened. So some of the roads are above ground, some of them are underwater. So you have to go on foot, the ones that are on ground, and you have to move in a boat. You get given a map straight up, but you have to mark everything on that map like you were in person. There is no mini map leading you to your location.
No dotted breadcrumb fucking path.
Next objective. If you find a quest giver in the world and you do not mark that quest giver on that map and you go and
do the quest, you'll never be able to turn it in.
You have to find where that fucking person
want
was
to play this game.
Return that fucking
I want to
quest.
play this game.
Oh, it said Massachusetts in the 1920s. I'm fucking there.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. So it has a lot of bugs. The combat isn't great, but it has a very good detective mode in it. And the things that it pushes you do to read letters from people, and then, okay, so this incident that this person... You found this letter in someone's apartment, and they encountered an incident somewhere within the city at this street between these two junctions of streets. You need to go to the mini-map, mark it on your mini-map, and then you need to make your way there with no dotted crumbs, no mini-map on your HUD.
You need to go three streets north and then 5 streets left kind of thing. Yeah.
And then turn. But then you get the complexity of, you get those 3 streets, and then there's fucking water. So you've got to get in a goddamn boat, and then you got to go to a certain point,
out
and then you
how
get there.
far the streets are while you can't see them because they're underwater.
But no. But you get halfway there, and it's fucking blocked off by some fucking shit that's fallen down when the city's sunk. So you've got to find an alternate route. And it is exactly what you were talking about. The world is nowhere near as big as Days Gone. It's set.
I actually think
city blocks, but
I think Days Gone in survival mode, where there is no HUD at all. There's no mini-map. There's no map. It's not just no mini-map. There's no map. You can't just swipe right on the fucking D-pad and see the map.
Well, see, that's what I disagree with. If you had a drawn
physical map
of the
in
area,
real life,
and you could mark it, and even if you had to do landmark association.
Well, I was sitting there thinking about my days in like Army Cadets, and would I have to do trisectoring? Would I have to use 3 landmarks to figure out where the fuck I am on the map?
Topographical maps and
So I'm seriously considering playing the game again in that Survival 2 mode or New Game Plus, so you still get all your existing unlocks and all your weapons and all the rest of it, but you start again, and you have to play the storyline without any of the HUD, so the zombies hit like fucking Mack trucks. Your bullets, if it's not a headshot, they basically ricochet. You have to fill them with lead, and there ain't many bullets in the game in that mode of survival. So every shot has to be a headshot, or you're out there stripping fucking trees for crossbow bolts. I actually think you'd spend hours in the rain, walking slowly. Your bike is always around you. Game. Like, it would become so atmospherically amazing. I'm seriously considering playing the game.
Dan, I just looked up
atmospherically amazing.
Where the sinking city is actually based. In terms of in like Boston Greater, because obviously it's set in Massachusetts, and that's where Emma's from. It's set a good way back from Boston, which is right on the coast. It's set well inland.
Oakmouth, they've called it.
It said Oakmont. It came up.
Oakmont? Yeah. I've got to say, I've literally played it for like 4 hours.
Yeah. But
I think on this random note of we're going to have to wrap very soon.
Yeah. Okay. We'll call it.
Call it a wrap. Tom was in the middle of a sentence, so I just felt like
I was just looking.
I
was just looking where it was in terms of the like.
I will come back to the sinking city when I've played more, but
I might.
It is.
I might start an NG Plus Survival 2 Days Gone and just see how fucking hard it actually is.
I imagine it'd be really fucking hard, mate.
But I love the game too. It's like a fun challenge.
I'm going to keep playing Guardians and see where it goes, because I've been fucked over by Dragon Age Inquisition's Nightmares mode. And I need a break because it's ruining me as a gamer. It's that hard. Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been
an absolute
fun.
Pleasure. It has.
Bye.
Has been fun. Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.